Welcome back, Keepers, to Keepers of the Fire. This episode, our guest is Omid Abtahi. He's an Iranian-born American actor who shares with us the miraculous story of the birth of his son, talks to us about immigrating from Iran and how he ended up here in America, as well as his acting process and the experience of being a Middle Eastern man auditioning for roles in Hollywood.
You may recognize him from, little projects like The Hunger Games, and he's also in Star Wars.
Yeah.
He's in The Boys, he's in NCIS, he's in American Gods. He is an incredible human being.
Omid and I actually had the pleasure of meeting at a fan convention for Star Wars in England, and we bonded immediately over our love of acting, Star Wars, and our Persian heritage. And it's such an honor to have him on this episode.
I think this is one of my favorite discussions that we had this season. Omid was so generous with the stories he shared with us, and I think he has a world of insights. I think a lot of you will be able to see yourselves in Omid and some of the things he deals with that he shares with us. And me and him, when we met, we bonded right away over our love of Star Wars and our mutual Persian heritage.
Which is me.
It was so much. I could have got through that with a straight face.
Why don't you guys do it?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I can be the last.
Do you want to start or me?
Sure, I'll start.
Oh, yes. Thank you.
Thank you so
Stay in
much,
the
David. Ask, you shall receive. That's,
Do you guys do an introduction or no?
So it actually starts with
It
this.
starts with that,
At the
okay.
top of every episode, there'll be like a 15-second clip where him and I would be like, "Hey guys, welcome back.
Oh,
This
right,
episode
yeah,
we have
okay.
Omid Abtahi."
Yeah.
Is that how I pronounce it properly?
Nailed it. Oh, it
Yeah?
feels so good. Yeah.
Omid Abtahi.
I mean, like,
Omid.
there's an actual.
Omid
part-
Abtahi.
That's the American way of saying it.
What's the Persian way?
Omid Abtahi. But you don't have to
Omid
say that.
Abtahi.
Yeah.
Abtahi.
You say Omid
Beautiful
Abtahi.
like that,
I
though.
say Omid
Abtahi.
Abtahi.
Oh, you do, yeah.
I do, yeah.
Omid
yeah.
How do you say it?
Omid Abtahi.
Abtahi.
Now I'm doubting myself.
Dude, we'll get into how our names have been butchered. Because you also have a fascinating name. Yours doesn't get butchered, but people immediately...
No, people know it. That's what I like about my name is it's recognizable. Yeah, the
Yeah.
recognition of it. Yeah.
the power of it,
Yeah.
Everyone recognizes
because like
my
people
name.
immediately remember it is the benefit. Because some people have really cool names, but it's like a group of syllables you've never heard together before. So it's kind of like hard to stick in because your brain doesn't have like a slot for that. You have to like carve out a new spot. But when you tell people your name's like Journey, or if you told people like your name's Chicken, like it's just already.
Yeah,
It's just already there.
right?
Yeah. It's like, my name is Skittles. Like you're always gonna remember that.
Dude, Chicken, I'm sorry. Journey, do you want to start the letting go?
Yeah. So what I'm letting go of this evening is I'm letting go of worrying about things I can't control, because last night I started going down a WebMD hypochondria rabbit hole.
Yep. Classic.
And you know what I mean? It was just a classic one, and it was like everything like I Googled to try and like take me off the edge. It was like, yeah, don't worry about this unless it's this exact thing that happened to you.
Exactly.
And it was like, like I just got home from a date, like a date that went amazing, and I was like in such a good mood. I was like, that was sick. I was like, just gonna go to bed now, and then it was just like I just like had like the thing that reminded me of it, and so then I started Googling, and I was up till like 3 a.m.
That was what I was about to ask. How long did the whole last? Dude, no,
Dude,
dude.
my heart was beating through my chest.
I'm sorry. Why were you doing this?
Because I've been having this symptom where like I'll have like a twitch. I'll just be like sitting on the couch.
Bro, no, I know. I've had. Oh, okay, yeah, no, I've had 24 hours, 7 days a week switches ever since COVID, man.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
When I was in my Googling, people were saying
Don't Google it
about
because
COVID.
ALS comes up and that scares.
That's what I'm worried about, man. I didn't.
Wow.
You were like, I read about that last night, dude. That was my 2 a.m. find. That was the whole. That was at the deepest part of
That was
that.
at the bottom of the rabbit hole.
Crazy. That is
I cannot wait to
crazy.
schedule a doctor's appointment on Monday. But that's why I'm letting go of worrying about things I can't control. Because I've done this before. I've dealt with medical things in my life. I've been like hurt a lot, had weird things happen. And so I can work myself up, and I know what that feels like. And so I want to make like an intentional effort to not do that. Because the truth is I can't control anything. And all I can do is just go see my doctor and get a test done and
that'll be that. I can't I'm not gonna change anything by worrying.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So letting that go this evening.
Nice.
I'm a wealth of information if you wanna talk about it like later on,
that
because
makes
I
me
did
feel
go
so
down the
much
doctor
better.
route, and that led to like a more intense form of anxiety when I was getting tested for ALS, and you had to wait 2 days for the results to come in, and
Yeah.
I went and got my will and estate like taken care of.
Wow.
Because I thought, there was a chance that I was gonna, it would be a terminal
illness.
illness. Yeah,
yeah,
and
but-
thankfully it
but-
wasn't. It's a benign.
Okay.
Whoa.
Dude, this blows my mind because I felt like I was like the only person in the world and like
No.
5 other people on Reddit who like knew what this was. And the
yeah.
fact that you've been down that same like worry and it came out.
Yeah. That's why
Okay.
nothing is just if it happens. If you like, my twitches will never go away, and you just have to deal with it for the rest of your life. But once you know that, you're okay with it. It's like tinnitus,
Yeah.
that ringing in
well,
your ear.
I've been having a weird hearing
Wait,
thing
what
too.
is that?
Tinnitus, like the ringing in your ear.
On your left ear?
I don't know which ear. It's probably both ears.
I think,
Oh.
I think
Okay,
either.
explain it, because I have that, and it happened last night, and I just started transmuting the belief around it to. I was like, "Oh, cool! That's like a sign I'm tuning into alignment." Like I just made
it's
it
a
a
sign you're
positive
aging.
thing.
It's alignment. If you don't know, like if you don't know what
Hearing the angel sing in my ear.
it literally feels like someone has the TV on, like the old school tube
Yeah,
TVs.
quite and you can't hear anything
static.
else. It goes
You can't-
silent in that ear,
Yeah,
except for that sound.
Yeah, I mean, I could hear other stuff, but there's always at the base of my hearing is this.
Oh, not me.
But
Mine
once
goes
you-
completely
Wait, so
away.
you have that?
I have tinnitus and twitching. Yeah.
'Cause I was just telling Eman too. I have the ear thing where like
Yeah.
noises. It's not tinnitus, but it's when I was like I've seen them like brought up in the same articles
Yeah.
where like noises, like sharp noises. I was kind of feel like jarred for a second,
Oh.
almost like there's like a little like pain in my head for
Yeah,
that.
no, I don't have that, but yeah.
Yeah, but
You're on your own.
But we're, on the
But
same, we're on the same like
but similar,
in the same
yeah,
ballpark.
these
Yeah,
these.
It makes me feel better. I appreciate you.
Yeah, of
telling me
course.
Wow,
that.
yeah, that was very
Yeah.
nice of you to share. Well, we're glad you're here. You want to do yours next?
Yeah. Okay,
Nice.
mine, along the same lines is the constant anxiety and worry, and just that has come with this last year. Anxiety has been part of my life. Maybe we'll get into it later. Ever since I became a dad, and the fashion I became a dad. So it is something that it's a constant struggle with, and any chance I get to, whether it's symbolically or whatnot, to just let go of it, I want to let go of it, So yeah, and like professionally, this is a tough year for a lot of people in our business,
Yeah.
and so anxiety, it comes with a lot of that, and so looking forward to this new year. So yeah.
Yeah, that's a nice one.
Releasing it.
That's a nice one. I am letting go of. Oh, yeah. I am letting go of any shame or guilt that I may have and am unaware of. I saw some video talking about what shame does to the body and how it manifests in your life as fatigue and illness and things like that. And I was like, yeah, I don't think I'm ashamed of anything. And then I don't know, something just clicked where I was like, maybe I just don't know what I hold shame around. Maybe there are things in my sub and unconscious mind that I'm still unknowingly shaming myself for or guilting myself for, feeling guilty about that I don't need to.
Yeah.
And so I'm letting go of that, whether that comes through me becoming aware of it and then being able to process letting go of that and accepting it, or if it just burns away with this piece of paper, that's also super sick.
Got you. So yes, that's not even like a thing you can identify, but just like a general casting out of
Just,
anything
yeah,
that
if
may
there are
subconsciously
any-
even reside.
Mhm,
Yeah.
if there is anything. Let's see. And now
Beautiful.
Palo Santo. Omi, do you want to grab the Palo Santo and toss it in
Yeah.
or lay it in?
The ceremonial cleansing.
Voila.
Boom.
And then we can go, I guess, reverse order. I'll do
Reverse
this.
style.
I'm calling in a smooth transition into the next level of my life.
Ooh.
It feels like I am moving in a direction I am really happy with and I've always wanted to move in with all things in my life: friendship, family, health, career, the spiritual journey. But I also know that as things start to develop and the levels continue, it's almost like, oh, okay, I've been prepared for a new chapter in my life, and this new chapter comes with more responsibility or more to keep track of in life. I felt like for a little while I was just floating like one thing to the next, and now it's like, no, I've sown many seeds and they're all beginning to bear fruit, and it's time to you have to harvest as well, right? You want to harvest
eventually.
Yeah. And so just calling in a smooth transition into the next level, whatever that ends up looking like and however much I end up taking on.
Yeah. Like smooth sailing into that next stream, that higher stream.
Yeah, exactly.
Beautiful.
Yeah. All right, let's see. Okay, what did I write on? No, I'm just kidding.
Go back and get it. Shit.
Oh man,
Eliana, get that.
No, I'm inviting in, if that's the intention, more flow and trust, and just I couldn't come up with a different word. Like the better word was warmth.
I like that.
In my life, it's really like I think when we were talking in Germany, like at the airport at 4 or 5 in the morning, like with the stuff we were talking about, about your life and your perspective and your spiritual perspective, like I was really like in awe with that, because it was almost like the complete opposite of how I've been functioning for I don't know however long, and it's like my ass has been puckered up and tight for so long, and I just want to relax it.
Bring some warmth to that ass.
That's what it comes down to.
I want a popper.
Sniff a popper.
It's just I have, because if the word faith, whatever that means to people, like it is something I've struggled with for a great chunk of my life.
Yeah.
And so a faith or a trust, I want to use trust instead of faith.
Okay.
Like it's a lack of trust has been present in my life. And when you don't trust, you get really tense and your body feels it and it holds on to it. And so, I don't want that anymore, and so I'm letting it. What I wanted was just warmth.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
That deserves a log too. I'm gonna.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm relating to all yours so hard. Like, I know that tightness. I know what you mean. I know that.
Yeah, it's not.
I thought about faith a lot too, just like as a concept in my life, because I think faith is almost like a tool, like a hammer that like could be used constructively or could be used, foolishly. And I think like my initial view on faith growing up was like I got like very into like criticizing like unjustified faith, or like when people like use it to go astray and like make claims, so like that end up like targeting other groups of people and they aren't justified. But then as I got older, I really started to look at like the positive side of faith. I realized I was only like one side of the coin, and I realized like the value and the strength it takes to have faith in yourself, or like faith something's going to work out if you're going to take a risk or an opportunity. And that's like been like when I don't like have that in something, or like I'm worried about whatever, my health, anything, like I kind of feel that tightness, it's like I don't want that either.
Yeah.
And Eman is like a naturally warm person. That's like that's cool. I can imagine you like being in the airport at 4 a.m, having that impression.
Yeah.
Like, that's the impression I had of him in French class, dude. I was like trying to run out of there. And he's like, "Come back here, it's warm."
I tried to be more. I tried to be. Come back here, it's warm. Come back here, the fire's warm. Fire's warm. Hold me tight.
I can tell you're puckered
I can
up.
tell you're puckered up over there as you rock away real fast.
Come back here.
It can be easier.
Just the easy way, the hard way. So on that note, I am calling in Perfect Health.
Let's go.
Which, is kind of obviously tailored, connected to what I said before. But also, like, I messed up my lower back recently squatting in the gym. And I was just kind of hoping it'd be, like, done in a few days. Like, I tried to, like, take a yoga class. 'Cause I was like, yoga's kind of softer. It's not that explosive. But then, like, the next day, it was definitely worse. And so I realized I was like, okay, I kind of have to, like, actually take this more serious. And so because of that, I've kind of, like, felt, like, in this malaise already. And then, like, I kind of started going down this anxiety rabbit hole. And I realized that I want to feel the opposite of that. I want to have perfect health, in big ways and in small ways, and just like feel that like robust like vitality again. Like I know how I've felt before.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm calling in.
That's a great one. And yeah, it's nice. It's nice to call things in or let things go in group, because it's so beautiful when someone just says something that you didn't know was also so much what you wanted to let go or what you wanted to call in. Right. You're like, oh, that's right. If I would have thought of that, I'd written that,
Yeah.
And it feels good almost to get like a bunch of them done at once when you do it with friends.
For sure, yeah. And like solidarity and like realizing like the other like things people are thinking about, like, oh yeah, me too. It's like, okay, this is like a normal thing that like I'm feeling. It's not like this, weird dilemma I'm in.
So in that, thank you so much for coming back, listeners. We are the Keepers of the Fire. My name is Eman Esfandi.
My name is Journey Bailey.
And we're here with the very talented,
extremely intelligent,
handsome,
thank you,
suave,
sexy,
charismatic,
professional,
gregarious,
silly,
splendiferous.
Omid Abtahi.
Let's go.
Omid, thank you for being here.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
How was your day?
How was my day? It was great. It started off with some soccer with my son. Yeah, we do this like kids versus parents type thing with my with my son and his friends.
Do you show him what's
stuff.
up? Do you go ham?
Yeah. I mean, I show them what's up, but they're getting good at like showing me what's up.
Oh, you're reaching that point.
We're like,
what
I'm
a point
declining
in childhood. At that time when you like surpass your old man.
I think like 3 or 4 years.
How old is your kid?
He's 9. He's 9 now.
Okay.
I just was thinking if you were like, yeah, he's getting to that point. How old is he? Just 4.
He's just turned 4. He turns 4 in July.
He's just a beast at 4, just cutting it up, and you're like eating it. You're like, oh my god, what have I raised? I raised a monster.
No. So
that's cool.
It started with that, and then our neighbors are moving, which I'm really kind of grieving because their son was best friends with my son.
Right.
And I don't know if you've experienced that in your childhood, like when that happens, whether you moving or your friends moving, it's kind of a big deal. I mean, you're fine, you get over it, but like,
huge.
But I'm grieving it.
Oh.
So I helped him move a little bit, and then just hung out with my family, had a chill day, and then came here.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, that's a big deal. I had my best friend move away like the summer between 6th grade and 7th grade. And that was, it felt like such a big deal. I couldn't believe it. It was like, what? Like, this person's going to be gone? And it was, that's a big deal at that age.
I didn't know that would give me like a heavy heart.
Yeah.
But I'm realizing I moved a lot as a kid. I mean, I knew I moved a lot as a kid, but I'm realizing it almost felt like every time I moved, every new place, I eventually made a best friend, like someone who was my closest friend in that new environment or new school. Mm-hmm. And then so I had like many times of having to be like, oh, like I'll never see them again. But I was the one who moved.
Right.
Like I was the one who kept moving.
You're
so I remember
Rolling Stone.
feeling a little bit like a Rolling Stone. Yeah. A little bit like Bob Dylan.
You're always living the rock star life, dude.
But yeah, it's so hearing about it from y'all's perspective, from your son's perspective, and from your perspective, I'm like, oh, that I left.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
those
crazy.
We all have a
yeah.
little childhood mourning to do.
You
You
know,
some leaves to turn.
that's an interesting like comparison. You are grieving this for your son.
I am,
in a way.
yeah,
Did
yeah.
you also experience that as a kid? Is that why, or is there like
No, I was kind of like you. We moved around a lot.
Yeah.
I was the one. Before we settled in Orange County, we moved like 4 times. So things were always changing for me.
right?
So I might have done that. Same as you,
Wow.
But luckily, where I grew up, from 10 and up, everybody stayed put for
that's
as
good.
long
got
as I
it.
was
Yeah,
a
yeah.
child. You know.
Yeah.
You found stability.
Yeah,
Landed
yeah.
there.
So yeah. But it's weird when you feel it on behalf of your kid. But when your kid's fine, you know.
For sure. Yeah.
And he's only moving 5 miles down the road. It's
Oh! 5 miles, but he's just moving houses. Same school, same neighborhood, same karate class.
They're gonna see each other at lunch tomorrow.
There's something
formative.
There's something to be said to be next door neighbors with someone. You
For
send
sure.
your kid out, you go to your friend's house, and
For
you don't have to
sure.
worry about it.
Yeah,
Now
yeah,
you get in the car and drive them there, and it's much more intentional. And before it was,
Yeah. Well, actually, it almost, I definitely had a period in my life in Laredo where I would just get on my bike, open my garage, leave it open, leave my garage wide open.
Yeah, you got to.
Go on a bike ride 6 blocks away, knock on the garage of my friends till he opened his garage, grabbed his bike, left his open.
Yeah.
And then we would just bike ride everywhere and go to the same spot where we tried to do tricks and go to a gas station and just garages wide open, but we're just neighborhood.
Garages were the hangout. That was like the spot.
Dude,
that was like the
garages
halfway house in between the outside
was
and
the
the
first
inside.
clubhouses, like boys, cave.
Yeah. You
Yo,
rendezvous. Someone had like a basketball
table.
hoop like in the driveway or something.
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah.
Like skating on the curb outside. Someone got like a little ramp,
Yeah.
and then you go back and rendezvous in the garage.
I'm so glad you experienced that. You never know, given our age difference,
Yep.
I'm happy to hear that people were still doing that, and whenever, in the late 90s, early 2000s.
Instead of iPad kids. Instead of us being iPad kids.
iPad kids and
Journey and I.
Look over on an iPad.
You said that disappointed in the way youth is going right now. You're like, I'm glad you guys still got that.
No, a lot of us do. A lot of us value the childhoods we had,
Totally.
and the
Right, yeah,
lack of internet and playing outside, and
Yeah.
you want that for every generation. And when you don't see it at least I don't see it. And I'm scared as a parent. I'm don't ride your bike. People don't stop at the stop sign.
For
People
sure,
are on their
for sure,
phones,
for sure.
going through stop signs.
Yeah.
Oh, that would drive me crazy. I can't. As a parent,
And I
can't
think our
wow.
generation of parents are a little bit more stress induced, and we have a lot more anxiety than I think our parents did, and less trust. Again, going back to that,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
And that's such a touchy thing. I was speaking to another actor at one of these conventions, and we were talking about what you and I kind of got into a conversation about, which is that faith, that affirming to yourself that things are okay and things are working out in your favor and for you. Yeah. And even if it doesn't seem like it circumstantially, it is going to be ultimately good and okay. And we're having this conversation similarly. And he goes, right, but when it's been really the hardest? I'm like, no. He's like, now that I have a kid. I feel like I was getting to a point of mastery where all my thoughts were clean, clear, positive. I was getting really into flow of just everything is in alignment, everything's working out. And then I had a kid, and all of a sudden I'm spiraling, and I can't even pull myself out of the spirals. I can't affirm my way out because it's so hard to trust in the world that your kid doesn't understand as well as you.
Right.
You can, feel faith for your own journey because you're I know I'll be capable of certain things and this and that, and I'll always be able to keep my boundaries and things you learn over time. But your kid's fresh out of the other realm, He's
right,
just
by
learning.
extension, it's harder to let that go and not be encapsulated by the or overtaken by the anxiety of it, because it's that's a whole nother. I can't I'm in control of my actions and my moves, and I can look after myself and trust in that intuition.
Exactly,
is, combined with the cosmos, and everything's gonna be good. But my kid, that's a different type of faith.
Would you say, Omid, that do you have only one kiddo? Or?
yeah.
And his name?
Miles.
Miles.
Miles,
He's
yeah.
9. He loves soccer.
Miles Life. Yeah,
Miles Life.
Life is his middle name. Yeah,
That's cool.
Whoa,
yeah.
that's amazing.
There's a story to it, but yeah.
Can we hear that
Do you
story?
mind sharing?
I mean, it's pretty deep story. It's not a short story.
That's-
I think that sounds like the perfect story.
Sounds
for
like a beautiful
dude.
thing for a fire. You know what I mean?
Let's do it. Yeah.
I think I'd love to hear
because,
about Miles' life.
It is. Okay, I'll just tell you the story, and then we can, however you want to assess it afterwards. so, you know, we were my wife and I, we're like, you know, let's at some point after 8 years of being together, it was like, let's try to have a kid. I mean, some of our friends are having like a hard time having kids. Maybe it's not as easy as we think it's going to be.
Yeah, I shouldn't put it off.
Literally the first time pregnant.
Come on.
There you go.
Come on, Omid. I knew you were a straight shooter, man.
Straight shooter.
I knew it.
One and done, dude.
Home run hitter, dude. One take,
Don't
Omid.
need to reload.
Yeah, that's it. Cut. We're good. Roll the tape.
One battle, one war, dude.
And so we had a wonderful pregnancy.
Awesome.
He was born on his due date
Wow.
on a Sunday, in LA. And I think, so here's the thing. So my wife wanted to have a home birth. And I wanted to have a hospital birth, you know? And we kind of compromised on this birthing center that's right across the street from Cedars-Sinai.
Okay.
And so he was born on his due date. They have this thing called the APGAR score. I don't know if you know. It's this score they give the health of the baby, and he was like 9.75 out of 10. I FaceTimed my parents, and you know, I was like, you know, introducing my parents to my son. And I was like, you know, go to sleep. Go to sleep. Your grandparents now. And then. And so my son was breastfeeding on my wife, and they're like, okay, it's time to weigh the baby. And so I was like, got my camera out and I was filming it, and they picked him up, and he wasn't, he was like blue, you know? I didn't know, like, if he was before he was born, I was like, he's gonna speak French, Spanish, Farsi, you know?
Of course.
He's gonna be a professional soccer player. He's gonna play basketball. He's gonna do karate, and like after that, I was like, I just want him to talk. I just want him to walk.
Oh, wow.
So I think that, I mean, obviously is the biggest moment of my life in terms of where my trust was. It was hard to trust the universe again, you know? And it's not, we had the best case scenario, right? Yeah. But when you're in the NICU, you see all the awful things that can happen to other babies. And you spend time with these parents, these new parents, who their kids don't make it. And that traumatizes you, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
Wow.
So it's like trust. So I'm sure, like you're saying, going into your wife giving birth, there was just all these excited expectations of what it was going to be.
it was
like,
perfect.
and
Yeah.
to have that, you know, change in an instant with no warning, and that's just your new reality.
No warning. No, when life hits you, like when it really hits you out of nowhere, and you're like, oh shit, I'm not special. You know, life can hit you at any time, and it just scared me, you know?
Yeah.
Like, because my life had felt relatively protected, you know? I felt like it was someone's story that I was like, you know, it had been scripted, you know?
Yeah.
And then maybe it still is, I don't know. But like, it's funny, I named him Life before that happened, because you had to write the paperwork out. And so I spelt it Lief, because I wanted him to know that life doesn't need to be lived in any one way.
Right.
You can live life however you want.
Right.
And you can spell it however you want. I don't know. I had a hard time trusting again. So like, when we're talking about letting the kid go out on a bike, because I don't trust the universe, you know, like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
Right.
it's something that's been very hard for me, but yeah.
Wow. Well, thank you so much for sharing. I'm so happy to hear that he is the best case scenario, and he is a miracle, man. I'm so,
I look forward, like, hopefully one day you'll meet him.
I would love to meet him someday, man.
Yeah.
What a scary experience, and obviously I'm sure you still feel so much of it. Even just remember, it's probably so locked in forever, and I'm sure a lot of that is all underneath the surface, when even as simply as I want to trust the universe and my kid going for, and then all of that trauma
Yeah.
that's what it triggers.
Yeah.
And you go, oh, how could I? No. I'm not even going to start engaging with trusting the universe with my children's life or et cetera, because you've been faced so deeply with that. It's very...
But it's something that I have to face and I have to deal with because it's disservicing him, like my lack of trust. You know what I mean?
Right.
You can't do this because I don't trust it. My parents didn't do that with me.
Yeah.
Go out, go hurt yourself, come back. You know what I mean? Like,
right. It's an interesting process. How do you move on after that? It's like the bubble of like you were saying, almost like believing you're in like a story, this narrative, and like things that are really bad aren't going to happen, but then something really bad does happen.
Something so surreal.
When I was 15, that happened for me. I had a crazy traumatic brain injury playing football, where I had to get like ambulanced off the field into emergency brain surgery. And like I still have like dents in my skull to this day from it, and it was like 2 years of recovery, and I like didn't graduate high school on time, and so it was like a drawn out thing where like I remember that feeling very distinctly, like almost like death felt closer than ever before, or like the reality of it, and like the reminder of the impermanence of everything, and and the feeling that like, you know, the idea that something like that could happen again, or if I had been more careful somehow it wouldn't have happened, so I should be like more careful going forward. And I feel like that changed it. It changed the way I operated to be like more conservative with risk taking. And I think I took less creative risks early at that time, and kind of leaned in more to the academia because of the order of it. And I guess it's something I'm still answering. It's
what constitutes like less creative risk? Like, what does that mean?
Well, I guess like I had experimented with making music at the time.
Okay.
And I think in certain creative endeavors, you know, there's less of a path that's laid out before you. It's more of like going back to faith. Like, I'm just going to do this because I believe in myself. And like, it's not like, oh, get this internship, then get this job, then get this degree, and then you'll graduate and be a famous actor or a famous musician or something, you know. So it felt like, because there had been so much chaos like in the middle of my adolescence, like I just wanted stability and firmness. It's like the route of, you know, doubling down on the music and like not going to college, for instance. Like once I started, you know, I recovered from the brain injury and started being able to succeed in college academics. Like I started getting rewarded for that. I was like, oh, I'm just gonna like lean into this because this is more predictable. I go to school for 4 years, then go to a different school, and you know. So I feel, but yeah, I always like look back and like wonder how could, you know, maybe if I didn't have that response, or I'd taken the time to really, you know, work it out, and maybe I wouldn't have made those, you know, cautious decisions, you know. But yeah, I can relate to that, like the idea that like the universe is maybe like can be flimsy sometimes, you know, and like how do you like go back to normal life after that?
Yeah.
Can burst. Your bubble can burst.
Yeah.
You know, it's so. Thank you both for sharing these very intimate, very personal, life-changing stories. It feels so.
Yeah. I do want to say, like, whether it's now or later, I do want to add one point to the story that I think is interesting.
Yeah.
Because it's how Homeland saved the Homeland, the TV show, you know?
Yeah.
Saved the quality of my son's life. Because when we were in the hospital and it had been like a month or two, so basically insurance kind of like, you know, once the main stuff is over, they kind of want to push you out, right?
Yeah.
But my son, he wasn't able to feed. And so he's getting fed through a tube. And so they were pushing a G-tube surgery. You know what G-tube is?
No.
So whether you're a baby or, you know, older, some people have a hard time swallowing. And so they put a little hole in your stomach. And so there's a little hole, and they put the tube right in, so the food goes right into the stomach. And it like, you know, you know, you don't have to use all these like whatever your swallowing mechanisms. And so when you have one of these G tubes, they usually want to do this thing called the Nissen fundoplication, which is basically they tie your esophagus so you can never throw up. You can never like bring up food and then aspirate on it. You know what aspirate means? Yeah.
No.
When you swallow your liquids down the wrong pipe, you know, which could kill you, you know?
Yeah.
And so they were like, so this doctor came, sir, who barely knew my son. He would come for 30 seconds, look at his chart. Okay, needs a G-tube. Okay, you're going to have to do this other surgery as well that really is going to make the quality of his life difficult. Like, you could never throw up. And I was like, oh, shit, okay, I don't know. This is a lot of information.
I know.
Like, I'm not a
Huge
doctor.
decisions.
My best friend was a doctor, so he was kind of like, I was able to bounce it off him. And so this was the only surgeon we knew. And I remember being in the hallway of the hospital, getting food out of the vending machine, and just in a complete state of overwhelm and depression. And this woman comes up to me and she's like, excuse me. She's like, are you from Homeland? And I'm like, oh. I'm like, not now. But I'm like, that's what I'm thinking. And I'm like, yeah, actually I am. Yeah. She's like, oh, I love that show. I'm like, I'm good, like, thank you.
Thank you, yeah.
And she's like, what are you doing here, if you don't mind me asking? And I'm like, this is what happened to my son. And now we're doing a G-tube surgery. And now they want to do this other surgery. She's like, who's the doctor? I said, so-and-so. She's like, that's Dr. Frankenstein. She's like, no. My son had to do the same thing. Go talk to this other doctor. His name is Dr. Chen, and see what he thinks. Get a second opinion. And so I go to the front desk and I'm like, excuse me, is there a Dr. Chen like I could get in touch with in regards to this surgery they're thinking about doing for my son? And they're like, let's see. Oh, you know what? He does his rounds like twice a month, and today's one of those days.
Whoa!
You can go catch him. And I we talked to this Dr. Chen. He's like, okay. He's like, yeah. I understand why the other doctor might want to do this, just on paper. Let me get to know your son. Let me do some swallow studies. Let me see how he's working. And so he did his due diligence. And he's like, you know what? I feel comfortable doing the G-tube surgery without doing the other surgery. And sure enough, after 3 weeks of being home, my son didn't need the G-tube anymore.
So he just
ate. So literally being on Homeland, and in that moment, how the universe works that way,
Whoa.
I mean, if I ever run into those producers of Homeland again, I have a lot to thank them for.
Wow.
But it was just really one of those, it was one of those special moments in my life where, for someone who struggles with faith and trust,
Right.
like, you're like, what a coincidence, if anything else, like.
Oh, what a miracle.
What a
Another
miracle,
miracle, in a way.
Like a positive synchrony. Like, what are the odds of that?
Yeah.
Like a fan walking by right in that moment and having experience and having a solid recommendation that saved an unnecessary surgery.
Changed his life, his entire life.
His quality,
And also fascinating that it's not the time or place, it feels like, where you'd want anyone to be like, hey, recognize you for anything, regardless if you're an actor or whatever. Yeah. And, like you said, you were thinking like, oh, not right now. I'm making the biggest decision of my son's life right now.
And you could have been justified responding that way.
Right.
Yeah, but it's not,
But instead responded with kindness.
Yeah, exactly. And then, what an angel that was sent to you.
She was an angel, man.
What a unique moment. Thank you for adding that. That's so big to the story. It adds the other side of the spectrum in the same light. And it's fascinating when I've had some near-death experiences that seem like kind of they seem trivial sometimes because I walked away fairly unscathed and I am currently completely healthy. So it feels almost like, was it that, bad? Because I'm fine, right? But actually the incident was something that could have easily ended in being fully paralyzed or dead.
Right.
And it's weird because even amidst the severity of the accident or accidents, there were these random little miracles.
Yeah, like the thing with your mom. Right?
Perfectly timed. You remember that? Oh, yeah, the thing in London.
Very much so,
Yeah. I've told, and then that story. You've
of
probably
course,
heard that
Have you
story.
told it on the podcast yet?
I've never told that story.
It.
All right,
we just told ours. I was about to say, it's your turn now.
All right. I'm studying abroad in Lyon, France for like 8 weeks with Journey Bailey. And we're having a ball, traveling to tons of cities. So all that to say, I became very like, oh, I can take on the world. I'm unstoppable. Like, was very bravado in my early 20s. So I'm in London with a couple pals, and we're running around. We're going to pubs, this and that. And we realize, oh, today's the day our train takes off for Liverpool. Oh, no, all our stuff, our luggage and everything is in our friend's sister's flat in Notting Hill, that neighborhood. Yeah. And we're like, okay, let's just go back. If we get there, pack, and get straight to the train station, we'll make it with like half an hour. So we're running through the tube. We're already in a frenzy. We're definitely drunk, you know, and we've had many a beer, many pints in London. They get
as you
pints,
do hanging out with your boys in Europe,
pubs and pints, you know. And so it's kind of this funny adventure. At first, we're trying to run through the tube, make it back in time for a train. It feels like some London movie. And then we get to the condo, and when you walk in off the street, this is an important context thing for later. When you walk in Europe or in London, not in America though, you walk in, and when you walk into the door, you're on the first floor. There is no set of stairs that go down to the basement floor that exists. Like there's no drop. Right? From street level. So I walk on, we all walk up, we walk a few steps up, and the door's locked because she lives on the third flat. It's like a building with many flats. And we're like, shit, you know, we're going to miss our train. She's not answering her phone. And one of my pals, he's from Liverpool, he was like, fuck it, I'm climbing it. She always leaves a window open, I'm fucking climbing it. And we're like, we look up, it's pretty high. She's on the third story, right? From the ground, in my brain. And he's like, no, fuck it. I'll use that pipe right there, whatever, and I'll get up there. I'm not missing this train. And we're like, dude, it's fine. Like, it's our fault. We didn't tell her to be home at this time. Like, we fucked up. Let's just get a new ticket. He's like, no, I'm not wasting that money. And then so he's about to go climb. And I'm early 20s, all that bravado. And I had been indoor rock climbing, bouldering, for like a year and a half by that point. So I was climbing pretty much every day, except while in France, but a lot. And he would climb with me. And our levels were just like significantly different because he had only done it like 6 months. So I was climbing like twice the things he was climbing. Right. So when he was about to do that, in my drunken bravado, I go, well, if anyone should climb, it should be me. I'm the better climber.
This is what you said or what you thought?
This is what I said out loud. Okay. And he goes, yeah, it's true. You're right. And in our drunken young male brains, we were like, that's true. It's safer. Let's be smart. Let's be smart here.
Work smarter,
Let's
not
be
harder.
smart here. And so then I walk from the first floor, go up those few steps, get up on a ledge, kind of mapping out my beta, my route. And there's this big old school metal drainage pipe, like Notting Hill classic Victorian architecture or whatever it is. And I'm like, okay, maybe I can just use this and scale up to the ledge of the next floor and then figure out the next part. So it goes smooth. I scale up, feel like Spider-Man, get up on the ledge. I'm like, okay, one down, one more to go, and then I'll enter from that window. Try to go one more. And I realize it's a little further, and now there's no drainage pipe. So I'm literally trying to scale like the front of a building, you know?
And not like a central thing to hold on to.
Nothing, no real holds. And then I
yeah.
go for one that I was like, okay, I could grab that and put this here. And I'm literally, in my brain, it feels like I'm on the climbing wall.
Yeah, you're right back there in the gym.
I'm right back in the gym.
Right there. There's no difference.
Like no fear, no worry at all. I remember how I felt going for this hold.
You're on one.
I'm on one.
Definitely on one.
I go for the hold and I slip. And then but then my toes stay on the wall a little bit. They slide and then they land on the ledge. But then I like, when I land, I'm like, whoa, I definitely just missed that hold. Like it like woke me up. I was like, whoa,
like sober job.
I would have I would have fallen to the mat if there wasn't this ledge underneath me.
Right.
And then I turn around and I look down and I am above that basement floor that I didn't know even existed.
It's like an added story, right?
An added floor.
So is it 3 stories total?
So now I'm on the 3rd floor, essentially. And I was trying to get to the 4th unknowingly.
With concrete.
In American
beneath
brain,
you.
right?
Yeah,
But to them, that's 3rd and this is 2nd, whatever. But it was like I'm on the 3rd floor. Like I was, like 3 of these up, maybe 4. I can't
What
tell.
are you talking about? 3 of what?
This canvas.
Oh, got
like
it. Got
1,
it, got it.
2, maybe 3. 3 up. That's how far I was from the ground.
So it's like comparable to that building, right?
That's exactly right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Literally the
so
top
you just
of that.
imagine
Why
like
don't you
you're
show
up
us?
there.
There's
There's a drainage pipe.
How are you so crazy? Just turn all the cameras around.
Anyway,
and
I
turn
was
all
up here.
and then, hey Molly. And then, so then I slip. I turn around. I look down. I realize where I am, and I realize I'm a floor higher than I meant to be. Yeah. And then my heart just starts, and then I remember the pang of fear that I felt, and I was like, oh, I can't climb now. Like I've felt this before a couple times while on the wall, even on a climbing gym. As soon as you feel this, you have to call it. You can't climb through that because you're like tight.
Yeah.
Your muscles aren't reacting the way you're leaning on things different. So it's just like not
rattled.
safe.
Like,
So now I'm looking down. I'm like in fight or flight. And I'm like, oh shit. I'm looking at my hands and sobering up. I'm like,
Like, do you remember? Are your friends cheering you on at this point, or are they like?
So right, this great question, because in this moment, as I'm having my realization, one of them goes, the one who ended up becoming a doctor goes, "It's not worth your life," and then the other one who initially wanted to climb goes, "Don't be a."
Oh, really?
Yeah. And I'm even looking at them thinking, holy shit, this is like one of those moments in my life. There's the angel and the devil on my shoulder. One's telling me get down, one's telling me just climb it.
Yeah.
And I'm looking down, I'm freaking out. And then right in that moment, his sister is walking over from like the other side of the street, and she's like, Eman, come down from there. Are you crazy? Are you stupid? You're going to kill yourself? Are you crazy, Eman? And then my other friend, her brother, is like, where have you been? I've been calling you nonstop. I'm butchering their accents, by the way.
He won't even be up there if it wasn't for you, sis.
Yeah.
Look what
I've
you
been
done
calling
now.
you. You've been ignoring my calls. What the fuck? We're gonna miss our train because of you. And I'm
too
like,
late now, isn't it?
that's happening. And I'm thinking, oh, okay, great. She's here. We don't have to do this anymore. I can come down. The decision has been made for me, right, to come down. And I'm like, all right, cool. Like I'm coming down. No worries. And I'm trying to calculate how I'll come down. I either jump down. On the stairs, but it's at least only one floor.
Okay.
Or I take the drainage pipe back down, and that's above the drop for the basement floor.
Right.
So I'm like, oh God, this is so crazy. And I'm like, you know what? I don't want to jump down one floor, but onto stairs.
Yeah.
Feels like if I land one ankle wrong, one knee wrong, I could just, legs gone.
Yeah.
So I decide I'll use the same drainage pipe. I'll go slow and I'll slide down.
Yeah.
Turn around to use the pipe, and I literally, as I'm turning around, grab it, put my feet on the wall again to like start scaling down. Soon as I put all of my weight on it, it just goes. So imagine this is the pipe, and I'm like on it right here. The top of it, there's latches all the way up. The top of it just goes. So the bottom ones hold, but this one that I'm leaning on just like comes off the wall.
Right.
Yeah.
But it comes off so hard, it just jerks me off of it. It's like, and my arms just come off of it. Next thing you know, I'm in free fall. And my left arm hits that ledge that I even climbed up initially. Bow! And I had all these purple bruises on like my rib and arm. And then I just fall straight down to the basement floor, like in front of one of those doors. And it's all gravel, like rock gravel.
Yeah.
So and then I land, luckily, on my feet. And I literally just collapse into myself like a slinky, like my knees to chest, like.
Yeah.
And then I like lay back, and I'm like out of breath, looking up at how far I fell. Like imagine you're laying on your back and you're looking up at the top of that, and you're like, but you're like kind of in like a corridor because the basement walls and stuff, and you're just like, oh shit. And I was catching my breath, and I was just praying, God, please, 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 I hope I'm not paralyzed. And I'm like praying for this, and then I check. I'm like right arm, left arm, and I'm like emotional because like everything I'm checking, I'm like worried that it just won't respond.
Yeah.
And I check everything. Luckily, everything moves. I can feel everything. I kind of try to get up. I feel it in my low back. I'm like, okay, makes sense. I did just compress really hard. Maybe it's just temporary, you know?
Yeah.
The friend who wanted to climb originally runs down. He's like, you good? You get up. And like puts his arm out to pick me up. And from the deepest part of me, I'm like, don't touch me. Like it came out like a monster. And he was like, oh, sorry. I'm like, just give me a second for the adrenaline to wear off. And let me see how much pain I'm really in. And then a couple minutes goes by. Nothing gets worse. If anything, it gets a little better. Feel like I rolled and broke my ankle. That's like what it felt like when I landed.
Yeah.
So I thought that was the main injury.
Yeah.
I grab his arm. I come up slowly. I feel a little stiffness in the back. I'm like, okay. All right. And then I walk up the steps. Up from the basement floor up to that first floor.
Yeah.
And then I sit on the steps and I look out in front of me to the street and there's cops and they've closed down the road. And then I just look up and it's like, and there's a helicopter landing.
Yeah.
And I'm like, bro, because I'm realizing like someone must have called 911 or 999 in London. And in America, we don't have free healthcare. So that's like I'm in debt for life for whatever this helicopter is about to cost me. You know what I mean? I could have, $100K or whatever that costs, you know? And I turn to my buddy, I'm like, dude, you called 911? And he looks at me like you're mad at me and he goes, you fell from there. And I like look up and I'm like, oh yeah, that's fucking crazy, you know? Like to him, because also it was a basement floor, he saw me up there and then he saw me fall and didn't know where I even fell to.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? From his perspective, I just disappeared and then he later on heard, you know, he called right away. And then they come out and they're like, who fell? And we say me. And from there, and they're like, how'd you get here? I walked, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. They take the helicopter back. They realize it's not crucial. Yeah. Take me to the hospital, do CAT scans, MRIs. And they said that it was a miracle, another miracle. Yeah. That all I had was a low back, a compression wedge fracture in my L3, in my lumbar vertebrae. Yeah. Which happens when you compress that hard. Yeah. I was like, okay, is that a surgery? Is that whatever? They said heals like a broken rib. You just can't exercise for about 6 months. Don't do any bending over. Yeah. Slowly walking, you know, call if you have tingling in your, I was like, whoa. And they said, because you were drunk and loose, and because you're in good shape, your body just absorbed the shock very well. You're very lucky. I was like, oh my God, I am very lucky. And then as I'm walking out, I'm like, okay, so like, where do I get the bill? And And they're like, no bill. You're in London.
Serious? Yeah.
No bill. Free healthcare. They, you know.
Well, I know it's free healthcare, but I thought they billed.
Nope,
like,
they didn't even bill me.
Okay.
And the when I was waiting in the waiting room before my CAT scans and stuff, they put me in a gown. And I look at I'm like kind of there for like 15 minutes. At some point, I'm like, maybe I'm dead. Like maybe I died and this is the waiting room, about to go meet God and have that whole thing. I was like, dang. And then I check my wristband and it says first name, hotel, last name, cake. I'm like, oh shit, I'm dead. I'm dead. And my spirit name is Hotel Cake? That's a ridiculous name. Hotel Cake, dude. And I remember for a little bit it was just kind of like, okay, if that's the end, like how'd it go? That was interesting. Fun life. Just came off a really great trip. That was awesome. I'm in love. Like there were so many things I thought I was entering the afterlife with. Yeah. And then all the scans and all that. But really crazy.
Did you figure out why I said Hotel Cake?
They just give a randomized generator names.
Wasn't your friend? I thought it'd be funny.
We never get around to the joke. You forgot to tell me. I forgot to ask. Like until the podcast comes out, he's like, "Oh, I put that." But yeah, that was that. And then simultaneously the part you mentioned with my mom. That night in America, which would have been the day it happened in London, my mother had a dream that death, like whatever death would have looked like to her in this dream, was coming for a child version of me. Yeah. Like it was me as a boy and death was on its way. And like in your dream, you just know shit. So she just knew. Yeah. Goes towards death and fights death for like 3 hours, she said. She said it was like tooth and nail, claw, punch, scream, kick, fight. Yeah, everything for like 3 hours, she said. The most intense thing she's ever felt. And my dad, verifies that she was like thrashing in bed and was like, honey, like what's going on? She was just going crazy, and wakes up and is like, we need to call about Eman. We need to see what's wrong with Eman. My mom has a history of premonitions. Like she's had dreams of family members having an accident happen, and then we find out 2 weeks later that happened on, like, we're like, hey, it just happened, blah, blah, like just like my mom's dreams. So she's had this before. So when this happened, is like, I need to call Eman. What just...
Like she knew immediately it was you, not your sister?
Yes.
Okay.
And so she calls, and then that's when they tell her, like, yeah, Eman was in an accident, but he's okay now.
That's crazy, man.
Oh, Molly. Molly, you can't be that jumpy of your security,
She's like, what'd you say?
Did you hear that noise?
Yeah, it was like a little jet flame off the fire.
Yeah,
Hi, Mom.
It sounds like steam shooting out or something. Did she freaked out? She just like the fire was haunted. Like
Dude. But so it happened at the same time. I do think my mom saved my life in the spirit realm for sure.
That's amazing. That's crazy.
It's
dude.
a really
Yeah.
interesting.
She fought death for you.
She did, and she won.
You think she could fight multiple sclerosis for me? If
Yeah,
it comes down
dude.
to it.
She
She
will.
sees it in her dreams.
She would.
Tell her just don't back down. You know what I mean? Like, don't, like,
Just do what you did.
yeah, just do what you did.
Just do your thing.
Do it again. Run it
Do
back.
your
Run
thing.
it back.
You're a
You know-
champ. You're
you know
the
what you're
champ.
doing. I'm not
You're
gonna
the
tell you how to fight.
champ.
You're
Returning
dude.
champ. Reigning
Your
champ.
mom's just defending
Your
everyone.
mom,
dude.
my
All
mom
of us, she's
saves
just
everybody's
like-
lives in the
she's like
astral
you.
realm.
Like
She's
in the One on One
warrior.
music video. He's just like taking everything out, dude. We'll just live
Shout
it
out, mom, man. Shout
She's the
out,
one who's gonna
Mom.
bring in the perfect health that I called in.
Yeah,
There you go.
Yeah,
Yeah.
She's delivering.
But yeah, that experience definitely also. It was one of those, like, could have just not been able to walk anymore. Oh,
Right.
the place I landed was only about as big as, like, from that corner of the rug to the fire to you to me. It was like this much
Right,
space,
right.
and right here was like a metal fence with the spikes on it
Jeez.
that I could have fallen onto.
Jeez, yeah.
And then right there was like a brick wall. And so it could have just like hit my head along the way, could have just anywhere.
Imagine if you
on it.
hit your head from that high.
Oh, just done. Dunzo.
Dunzo,
There are
dude.
people who fall from the
Dunzo.
first floor and hit their neck wrong and boom.
Yeah,
they're-
you hear crazy stories like that.
All
Like
the
guys
time.
on construction sites,
Yep.
just weird shit. Yeah.
So very, very grateful, very blessed. It's very interesting to hear stories that are close or where something does happen that is undeniably not what you would ever want, right? It's bad.
Right,
You feel like
that's-
this is the bursting of the bubble,
Yeah.
and then little miracles come around.
That's the center of this, man. Yeah, and that's something I thought about a lot is contextualizing negative things that happen in your life, and like how do you just not live in the shadow of it,
Right,
And
right.
how do you? And one of the answers I found, which is like something that's more like a practice rather than just like an answer, because like as things come back around in your life, you know, you have to like find new ways to think about it. But I've tried to like find good from the negative thing that otherwise would not have happened if not for the negative thing.
Right.
You know what I mean? So therefore, it doesn't mean that like, you know, you're glad it happened or it's a good thing, but you build something so positive, you know, you rise from the ashes of it so that like now there's like this beautiful thing that exists. So it's like the legacy of the negative thing now, because like the classic example is like, you know, starting like a foundation, you know, after somebody passes or something like that. But like there's a million different things it could be in your own way. You know?
Yeah.
So that recontextualizes, reframes the whole thing instead of just being negative. Now there's light to it.
It's like a transmutation. It's like putting, using the negative experience as logs to the fire, and the fire being really the whole. And like, because you had a very severe brain injury. You had 2 brain surgeries, correct?
Just one brain surgery.
One brain surgery,
Yeah.
but 2 concussions is what I thought.
Yeah, it's called second impact syndrome, which is it's really rare, but it happens if you get 2 concussions in a row and like you sustain the second concussion before the first one has had time to heal. It can create a brain swelling, and what happened to me is a brain bleed, a subdural hematoma, and of course there's only so much room in your skull, you know, your cranial cavity. So like as blood is pulling up in there, pretty soon it starts putting pressure on the brain,
Right.
and that's what leads to the damage and eventually death. So I had to have like an emergency evacuation of that blood. So they like removed a quarter of my skull. And which is like crazy. So I was like convertible top, which is like crazy to think about, you know. Like
Whoa.
at a certain time, my brain was exposed, like out to
Whoa.
the rest of the world.
Your hairline is covering like any scar? Is that what?
Yeah, man, you can kind of see it because I have like indentations in my skull, depending on where like the lighting
see.
is. You can kind of tell.
Yeah.
But then they're like even like deeper, like in this part of my skull. Right. But it wasn't like that at first. It was funny, man. They put my skull back and it was the shape it was supposed to be, just obviously with stitches all over it. But then it was like over the coming years that like as my skull grew, because I was like 15 when it happened, right? So I still had some growth left to do. That's when it kind of started like growing a little jagged at certain points. And I don't know if this is true, but dude, like because I didn't even go back to school for like 6 months, but like pretty soon, like in the first semester I was back in school, I had gym class, and sometimes after this is it.
So sometimes
we're gonna have a blooper reel at the end of this season of helicopters going by.
It's usually them just passing overhead, telling us to put another log on. They're actually on our.
There you go.
They're on our time as well. Thank you. Yeah.
We told them we were
guys.
shooting tonight, so we told them we were going to be on.
What they are is they're late for your part of the story where the helicopter comes in.
Someone call us.
Damn it.
You don't need a ride? But anyway, so I was in like gym class essentially, and this kid chucks a full court basketball shot from as like we're like walking out, so I'm like on that side of the gym, and it just domes me in the head, like dude, like 5 months after this crazy surgery, and they're like, no matter what, make sure you don't get hit in the head. I'm like, how am I supposed to do that? I was
That's like Final Destination shit, dude.
I'm like Kenny from South Park, dude. Oh my god. Dude, yeah, man. If I'm a cat, I'm down to one life, dude. Just keep. So I think like I don't know if this is the case, but I think maybe that like dislodged the skull, and then like, it started like growing fucking jagged after that.
But you never got it checked again?
No, dude. I never like my friend. He was in class. He's like, so what did the doc say about that? And I was like, he said, don't do that. He's like, shit.
You're too young to be able to properly apologize without it being any. So just in the back of his head, kind of thinks forever. Like, shit, dude, did I just fuck him up?
He was having a day in high school, dude. He like just altered the trajectory of someone's life. Like, you miss a shot.
You were being a hooligan. You were being.
Watch this, Kobe.
No, dude. Oh no. But then, yeah, right.
Well, what did I even start? You just asked me if I had 2 surgeries or one.
Well, I was saying this entire experience.
Yeah.
You end up being motivated to start a nonprofit called Cussies.
Yeah.
That ends up being something to highlight people who have concussions and the safety standards in youth sports, right?
Yeah, that gave me a lot of gratitude and clarity. So CUSSY stands for Cultivating Upgraded Safety Standards in Youth Sports. It took me a long time to think of that acronym, even though it looks like pussies, but that's just like something I just had to accept, because it worked on so many other levels, you know what I mean?
It's a good-ass acronym. I remember you ran the names by me, and that was my note. I was like, I don't know, it kind of looks like, wussies or another word, and you were like, yeah, but it works really well for the acronym.
Yeah, I've already decided on the name, actually.
You were like, yeah, and you were like, and it's also, it's Cussies. Like, it's not Cussy, Cussies. And I said,
no one's going to think it's Cussies.
I was like, right, it's spelled like that. And you were like, no, but it's concussion. It's like a play on the word concussion. Right. I was like, I get it now. No, I get it now. I get it now.
Put a lot of thought into this.
But actually it ended up working out. Cussies does sound good. Like, it sounds like the right name.
One of the favorite things I did with that was I would find other people who had serious brain injuries, and I would have interviews with them where I would get to know their stories. And I just realized like how many people, like as crazy as what I had felt that I had gone through, like as much as like I had moments, especially like in the middle of it, where I was like, why would this happen to me? It's like the most random. I feel so unlucky. And then to have these conversations with people who I had a conversation with one kid he was on the highway, just like in traffic, and like a 14-wheeler, or however many wheels those things have, like tipped over and a tire went loose and it started bouncing down and just went right through his windshield. and he had like so many crazy problems that he lives with, and like constant physical therapy, and like all, and it just made me like so grateful that I was like, okay, I have like this version of it where there's like, maybe it made me like a hypochondriac and like, you know, a little like risk averse, but just realizing like what other people are going through, and they still show up, you know, like I was able to find these people and they're agreeing to interviews, and you know what I mean? Like then they're doing their own thing, you know, most of them had their own little causes they were spreading awareness about. But yeah, that was very inspiring.
Yeah.
So yeah, and then that was, yeah, exactly. Like the idea of creating that was like, for so long I just lived in the shadow place of that injury, and I really used to lament the like potential negative health outcomes. Like even like the thing I was, you know, we're kind of like joking about at the beginning of the show, like me being worried about, you know, going down these WebMD rabbit holes. You know, it's because a lot of like conditions can be exacerbated if you have had brain injuries in the past. So like, I feel like I'm always like, oh, brain injuries can also make this more likely. So it's always like a reason for me to like stumble and think like, oh, that's what I'm experiencing.
Right.
And so it just felt so like negative for a long time. And I just was like, I'm tired of it just being that. Like I want to do something that I never would have done if not for this injury. And hopefully like, the whole goal is to spread awareness just so parents who have kids like in sports today, like if their kid gets a concussion or it's just like, you know, on their mind that there's other sports that don't involve as high of a risk of that happening.
And also,
Is there a rat on set?
and also, I don't know how you even got that far. Like all of a sudden, I thought
like,
something was coming from that area. So I was like, hey, what's going on? Like,
Death, is that you? Yeah.
that we always see, you know.
he's just like about to jump out. He's karate chops it like in
I was like,
midair
all
and
right,
saves
am
your
I in
life.
a battle right now? Like, am I turning around into a face-off? And the possum's just like, like ready to go. I was just gonna say that it's amazing to see other people's stories as well, because it's healing to share and to read about, oh, this is happening to other people or has happened, and this is what they're going through or what they've been through.
Yeah.
Like even when he just mentioned, oh, I went down that rabbit hole, it was like, oh, I'm not the only one.
Right.
So not only does it spread awareness to people to avoid injury or like risky sports or anything like that, it's also like providing a solace to people who maybe don't realize other people or know anyone else going through what they're going through.
Right.
Which is such a beautiful thing to have started. Cussies. That was a really cool thing.
Yeah,
make.
absolutely. Yeah, it is weird how like if you just realize someone else is going through something that you're going through, that it makes you feel better about it in general.
Yeah,
like you're not
for
alone
sure.
in it.
Yeah.
So that's a good thing.
You know, it sort of elucidates the idea of, you know, the bubble can burst, and then it is once again on our own shoulders, whoever the thing bursts for, to reframe, to recontextualize, to rewire, and find the light in a dark situation, which, of course, you know, I'm very grateful. I've never had something that I couldn't now still be healthy and able from. And there are people who go through much worse things. But even hearing inspiring stories from people who have gone through things like that, or even the miracle of your son, is such a beautiful testament to resilience and life, and how even out of a bad or dark thing, something beautiful can come, you know?
For sure. And I think we're also, I think people who are artists are blessed in a way where you can take all the ugly that happens in your life and filter it through, whether it's music or a performance or writing or something, and turn it into a work of art, and to turn the ugly into something beautiful through your craft, whatever that is. Because I can't tell you how many times acting has been my therapy.
And
how I've taken awful things that have happened to me in life and turned it into a performance. You know, and nobody knows other than yourself what you're using, you know?
That's a great example of converting negative experiences into like a positive product.
Transmutation.
Creativity.
That's what makes me so grateful for I'm not an artistic person outside of being an actor. So
Fascinating.
I'm just so grateful to have this
Outlet.
craft and outlet. Yeah.
And we are so grateful to have you here and actually have, believe it or not, so much to ask you about acting. We're going to take a stoke break. So if you're listening at home, make sure you have water.
Make sure that you have, if you have like a gerbil, people still have hamsters. If
Sometimes,
you have one,
people have hamsters.
feed the hamster.
Feed the hamster or feed the snake.
Feed the snake. Oh, feed sometimes.
Sometimes. I should have said that. But sometimes you got to feed the hamster to the
At
snake.
least if you're going to feed the hamster to the snake, feed the hamster first.
Feed the
Give him a last meal.
Feed yourself before anyone, right? Like make sure you're satiated, you have water, you're in a safe place.
Feed the hamster to the snake, then you eat the snake. The cycle.
Yeah. Put your own mask on before assisting others. We are going to take a stoke break, and then when we come back, keepers, we are going to get into all things about Omid's love for the craft of acting. So, see you soon.
We'll be back.
Welcome back, keepers. We're back.
Oh, welcome back.
We're
Keepers.
back. We're
Keepers,
back.
Welcome back.
I have a special treat I brought that I wanted to share with you, Omid, because you're also Iranian, born in, was it Tehran?
Tehran, yeah.
Tehran, where my father was born.
Is it gas?
That's right.
You know what's funny? This is not the first time I've been given gas today.
Oh, shit.
Tell me more.
This is not happened. No, we had
Were you on another podcast?
No. We were playing soccer. I told you about one of the
That's right.
parents of this mom. She just got back from Iran, and she brought gas, and she gave me this box of gas. So this is so funny.
You're gonna have
And
so
it's-
much gas now.
I don't get gas every day. This is not a common thing.
So could you explain for the listeners what gas is?
It's like I was trying to explain to my American friends today. It's kind of like, I guess that's like a nougat
Yes.
with like some kind of hardened yogurt with pistachio in the middle, and it's made with honey and rose water. And it's not overly sweet, you know?
Fire agrees.
Yeah.
It's like the perfect ratio of chewy and moist, but not too like liquidy or juicy.
Yeah.
And sweet and a little bit of salty from the pistachio.
Yeah.
I
It's
think it's a cross between the textures of saltwater taffy and marshmallow.
right.
So
Right.
those
That's
were
a great
combined.
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So my father had some from Iran that someone gave to him, I think,
Yeah.
and he gave me a bag because he knows I love gas.
Yeah.
And then I was so excited to have you on the podcast because we're both Persian.
Yeah.
And it's just cool to meet another Persian actor in
Yeah.
general,
Yeah.
anywhere, you know,
Yeah.
let alone in the same universe.
Yeah.
And so I thought, okay, wait a minute, I have a bag of some gas. I've eaten a lot of it because I love it.
Yeah, me
And I'm like, I have some. Let me bring a couple for Omid for the
Oh,
podcast.
that's so sweet.
So
you
here
know what? My
go.
wife is like, you should bring the gas to all the people at the podcast.
And you were like, that's my gas.
I'm like, I hardly know these people. Why would I
Can't give them that. That's mine.
No, I would have brought it. I just thank you, man.
And we're all just exchanging gas. Everyone has gas for each
Well,
other.
thank you to your father as well, man.
Oh, you're so kind.
David's lovely mother is here, observing the podcast.
Shimmy good, huh?
So now I would love to
Yeah.
get into the brilliant career you've had as an actor. We were talking about how you have been able to transmute certain experiences in your life into works of art, into your performances, into acting.
Yeah.
And there's so many questions we have and we've thought about. I think one of the most pressing questions is how did, in The Boys,
Yeah.
how did they cut your leg off? How does that,
Well,
how does it, like, how did they fake that or do that?
Or
and
how
then-
did it grow back?
How do you have it now?
The story is how it grew back. No, no, basically, like, you know, did you ever see Forrest Gump?
Yeah.
Thank God. Okay.
It was my first favorite movie, actually.
Yeah, right?
You gotta talk about Lieutenant Dan?
Lieutenant Dan, you see he has these green screen socks on.
Uh-huh.
Right? And
Oh.
so they gave me a green screen sock, but they want to try to save as much money as they can with the CGI. So for the portions where I was walking around, there was not much you can do. You just wear the sock, and then you kind of just pretend like you don't have that bottom part of your leg.
Yeah.
But when I was on the mattress or in a haystack, they would hide the leg. They would cut a hole in the mattress, and then I would put my leg through, and literally was like, my leg was folded. I'm not even a flexible person, and it was like folded behind.
You gotta get back there.
Yeah. And so literally one of those scenes it was a couple scenes that we shot in the same day. It took 14 hours. My leg was just pressed up in this thing.
God.
But it was also such an emotional scene that they were like in between takes. They're like, Omid, you can get up, and it was a hassle. I had to lift my leg up and unchain myself, and I was like, you know what, I'm good. They're like, are you sure? Because it would take me out of it. I don't know what it's like for you when you're in an emotional scene. If you leave set or if you leave the stage and you see sunlight, it takes me out of it. Or lunch takes me out of it. So I'll skip lunch. I just won't eat.
Whoa.
Yeah, or if I'll eat it changes your body dynamics when you have a full stomach,
For sure.
Yeah.
So for the boys, it was about hiding the leg as much as possible so they can do as little CGI as possible.
Can I? So this is fascinating. Did you go further with in sort of integrating this experience of not having your leg? Did you walk around on one leg? Like, was there any sort of, because you hear about method acting, right?
Yeah.
And actors doing everything their character would do. They go live on the street if their character's homeless, or they walk around with their eyes closed for a month if their character's blind, things like that.
Yeah.
Was there an extension of that, or was the time with your leg and the compromised position all informative enough, and that kind of was the extent of living
that was
out
the
that?
extent of it. I broke my leg playing soccer in high school.
Whoa.
So I was in a wheelchair for 4 or 5 months.
Right.
And then on crutches for another month or two. So it was something I was somewhat familiar with, not being able to move your leg for however long.
Yeah.
But I also, it's funny you asked that, because on the show prior to that, I did this show for Apple called City on Fire. And I was playing this, this Iranian detective who got jumped after 9/11 and broke his back, and so I had to walk with a limp and a cane. It's funny, in the book he's Polish, so it was polio for him or something like that. He was a white dude, it was polio, that's why he couldn't walk. And for me it was 9/11. It's all good.
Oh my God, dude.
So I would walk around New York with a limp, and I would study people's gaits, and and then what happened is I was so invested and so committed to this limp. I would limp around set.
Yeah.
I started to. I got bursitis in my hip.
Yep.
Inflammation.
Yep.
I couldn't sleep for 2 years on my right side of my body, and I was like, "Fuck that! Never again." I can fake a limp between action and cut.
Yeah.
It didn't bring anything to my performance that I don't think would have been there.
It's not
Wow.
So once the boys happened, I was like, I didn't know.
But at least staying on set, in the space, in the scene, helped inform the emotionality and the being stuck.
Yeah.
Fascinating.
The emotions took a precedent for me during the scene, when we were shooting the scene.
And the emotions are very heightened. We thought you did an amazing job in The Boys.
Oh, thank you.
We loved you in The
Thank
Boys.
Thank you.
Amazing.
We loved you in Hunger Games as well.
Did you?
Hunger Games was a different beat from the first the other things we had watched,
A little
and we looked up to you in Hunger Games, and we were rooting for you.
You were the hero in a way,
vociferously in that living room.
thank
Over
You
you.
there.
took lead when things were going, those black liquids.
Well,
you
I
were like,
appreciate you
this
saying
way.
that, yeah.
We were like,
kind of the
Omid,
moral
give him
compass,
give him
the
the mic.
backbone of the group.
Every time you were on screen, we're like, that's it, give it to Omid.
It was so perfect that we couldn't help but notice that we had a question about the end.
Yeah.
Which is we could not put our finger on the moment that you died.
That's so.
And we
it's
really
brilliant.
tried.
Yeah,
we
do you know
we
what?
rewound it 5 times.
I read. You know what? I read the books. This is actually a funny story. I'm glad you brought this up. I read the books, and then when I was like, oh, okay, I'm one of the members of the Star Squad or whatever it was called, and then I read the script, and I was reading the script, and I remember being near the end of the script, and I was like, wait, what the fuck happened to me? Like, literally, like he goes through the tunnels and then you never see him again. I was like, I was reading, I was like, oh, for sure, I'll show up later. And then I get to the end of the script, I was like, what? Like, it was not written in the script what happens to my character. We shot it. I'm like, is anyone gonna say anything? So we never shot a death scene. And they had to go, they realized in editing after in post, they're like, oh my God, we totally forgot to kill this dude. And so what happened was they CGI'd it for a half a second. If you go small frame.
Wait, we may have found it.
Oh yeah, I had to go and ADR that. Yeah, something.
I think someone says, what's your name? Holmes?
Holmes
Holmes,
says,
yeah.
Is it that moment where someone
But I thought it was the
shouts your
freeze
name?
frame when the monsters are coming across and it's someone's like, oh, and
Yeah,
I was
that
like,
was it. That
that's
was it.
you.
That was it.
I knew it. I was like, I'm pretty sure I saw him get
manipulated.
swept
That
up.
was not. I
No.
never did that.
No way.
That was before AI.
That's hilarious.
And I remember I was going to ADR. They're like, "Yeah, listen, so we forgot to, how do you forget this?" No, I'm kidding. And I was like, It's funny you say
I had
that.
lines just like 10 minutes before that. Like,
Yeah.
I was rallying the troops a second
I've
ago.
been in this movie
Yeah,
the whole time.
That's actually a very satisfying answer.
That was such a
So
good answer.
It wasn't just us. That was
No, it was not just you. It
Okay.
was, yeah, it was baffling. Like, but I was like, okay, they'll figure it out sooner or later.
Yeah.
Okay, so my question during that whole shooting was, I was like, it seems like you were walking through some tunnels, and then they were like, okay, that's a wrap on Omid.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And like running in the tunnel, and then that was just your last day. That's
No, I think the tunnels were like one of the first few days of shooting.
Oh, interesting.
okay.
Yeah. It was.
So it
it's
was
not
even just
chronological.
gone. Like, it
Yeah.
was back of your mind.
That was in Atlanta, yeah. And then we went to Paris for a month, and then we went to Berlin for a month.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's how they shot that.
Yeah. 3 months in Atlanta, 1 month in Paris, and 1 month in Berlin.
That is so cool. I've
And the
never even heard of it.
contrast, right? We were briefly
My
talking about it
God,
during the break.
yeah.
Between the French crews and the German crews were night and day. Like the French
What?
crews, I
Interesting.
told you they had wine at lunchtime.
Of course.
They worked 8 hours. And I remember, like, I bonded with these
and
French.
that's a lot for them.
Still
Yeah.
shooting the same movie though. It's not
Yeah.
like it's a French New Wave cinema. We do our own pace. It's still the same Hunger
still
Games
Hunger
that in
Games,
Atlanta.
yeah.
It's like
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And so I remember on the last day, it was like 4 weeks with this crew. I was like talking to one of the crew members. I was like, "Hey man, like, are you gonna miss us?" He's like, "No." I was like, "What? Why?" He's like, "You Americans, you're so stupid. You don't know how to live life. You work too hard. You don't." I was like, "Okay, that's fair." And then you go to Germany, and then like they're like, "I will see you at 5 a.m. and we will work until 2 a.m. and we will do this 5 times a day." And like, you couldn't work them hard enough. Like, I mean, we got so much work done. The contrast between the two cultures was amazing.
it was like a 6-month shoot. 3 months in Atlanta, regular speed.
Yeah.
1 month in France, put them 2 months behind.
We
So
shot
they
one
spent
scene,
1
yeah.
month in Germany
Catch you all
to
back
get
up.
2 months up. Yeah. They
Maximum
doubled the
efficiency.
output in Germany.
Yeah.
Fascinating. That is
that was
so
it.
funny.
That was a really fun experience to film.
Was that-
socially?
Was that one of your like first times being in like a worldwide film that's like distributed across theaters or
Like the scale of it?
Yeah, like,
Yes.
was that- 'cause that's kinda
like
considered a
big
big budget.
Like yeah, that for sure is not the first. It's probably the only. Like I did a couple like mid-tier like Argo or Brothers or like mid-tier like $25 to $50 million movies. But that one was like the sets were amazing. Like being in France and shooting or in Germany, like at these abandoned like airports where they're like there's caution, what are those caution tape everywhere? They're like landmines. Oh
my
don't
God.
step. Asbestos and these old like these structures, don't go in there.
Like landmines from like World War II?
I guess so. Yeah, yeah.
Okay, just left over. There's like that. I don't know. We're just gonna let's put up the signs. It's so much easier to put up the signs and go like diffuse them and like with the metal detector.
They could have been fucking with us. I don't know, but like, I wasn't gonna go find out.
It was a great no trespassing sign. Yeah, just as a bluff.
Yeah.
Wow. I think you'll still be in plenty big. Ellie, if you want to be in them, I feel like you could definitely be in many more.
of course.
You were in a pretty big budget TV show that we all got to watch your amazing performances in with Star Wars: The Mandalorian.
That was my favorite.
Yeah.
What we watched. That was my favorite performance.
Yeah, me
That was
too.
amazing.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Particularly
Thank you.
the episode that was like all about you.
Yeah,
thank
that
you.
was such a trip.
Season 3, you got pretty much a dedicated episode to the journey of your character, Dr.
Yeah.
Pershing, and
Unreal.
it was so phenomenal. And I know from experience, those sets are amazing. Like, that's a big budget show.
It is,
but it's
yeah.
it's just one of the biggest budgets of a thing being made. It's huge. Could you tell us a little bit about, the experience as Dr. Pershing and when you got the call? I know you probably get this question.
To call to get the part, or the call to do the
I'm sure you
episode?
get the question all the time in panels and
bro.
stuff.
No,
but I love to hear.
There's this. It's funny when we do these conventions, right?
Yeah.
Or when we're doing press for Disney, like that's a question that often comes up is how you got involved. What was the audition process like, or what is this? And for me, I'm gonna just give you the unfiltered, real version.
Fantastic.
So I was working on the show called American Gods, which for me, if I don't know, have you seen it?
No.
Have you seen
I
it?
haven't seen it, no.
If I would ask you to watch anything of mine to get to know
Wow.
me as an actor, is that
That's on the list.
American Gods.
American Gods.
Gods.
It's a
Okay.
beautiful
go watch
first
it right
season,
now.
especially. Yeah,
Let's do it.
yeah. So I did a great a wonderful first season. It was magical in that show, and then the second season they had fired our showrunners.
Whoa.
And the new showrunner didn't know what to do with my character, our characters. It was me and another guy, because we were only in one chapter of the book.
Okay.
And so, but the original showrunners wanted to expand our characters, so he didn't know what to do with us, and he wasn't using us. I was spending a lot of time in Toronto, just walking around the city, feeling unappreciated, unloved, and whatever.
Oh, man.
And then I get this. So I take cannabis to help me sleep at night, right?
Mm-hmm.
I use it primarily just as a sleep mechanism.
Mm-hmm.
And so I remember it was 1 a.m. on a Friday night, and I was, you're getting to know me. I go to bed early. Like, I was probably on my second REM cycle, and I get this call from my agent, and I'm like, why is he calling me at 1 a.m.? Granted, it's 10 p.m. on LA time. And I'm like, hello? And I was still high. Like, I was so high.
Oh, right.
And I was like, I just remember, I couldn't make out what he was saying. It was like, blah, 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 untitled Jon Favreau project, blah, 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 blah. I only heard the untitled Jon Favreau project. And I was like, I'm sorry, what? I'm like, say it again. He's like, blah, 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 untitled Jon Favreau project, blah, 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 blah. And I'm Googling it with one eye closed, my phone. I'm like, oh, is this like a new Star Wars TV show for some kind of streaming platform that Disney's coming out with? Because that wasn't out yet.
Right.
Oh yeah, right.
He's like, yeah. I was like, okay, cool. I was like, they want me to audition for it? He's like, no, so the blah, blah, blah was they're offering you a role on the show.
Wow.
And I was like, oh, what strand of weed did I just smoke? Like, this was like the best. I mean, this stuff always happens to me when I'm high. Like, I'm like,
Whoa.
is this real life? And I'm like, you know what? I like, listen, why don't you, can we hang up? Can you call me in the morning? Can we have this conversation one more time in the morning? He's like, sure. And sure enough, they had offered me a role. I didn't know anything about the role. I didn't know anything about it. I just wanted, and I wasn't like, truthfully, I wasn't a huge Star Wars fan. Like,
Right.
I was a huge Jon Favreau fan.
For sure. Legend.
And I was so excited to work with him, for him.
Mm-hmm.
And so it was one of the greatest gifts from the universe.
Yeah.
You know, and you can't tell anybody, right?
Right, you
For
gotta
a
keep
year.
it a secret.
Yeah. So that's how I got the call to join the project. And then when I fast forward to 2-3 years later, I get this, like Dave and John in season 2 were like, you're sneakily becoming, one of our more important characters. And I was like, ooh, shit, what does that mean? My agent calls up. He's like, okay, so you're going to be in one episode, maybe more, but one episode for sure. Here are your dates. 19 days. I was like, is this 19 days of the episode that I could possibly work? But my dates are not in there? He's like, no, these are all your work days. I was like, oh, what does that mean?
Yeah.
19 days for one episode. And then I get it and I read it and immediately get the runs. I couldn't hold anything in. I got nervous. I was like, because you know how much work goes into this.
I just didn't know that's what you meant.
No, I went full on Jeff Daniels, Dumb and Dumber. Like, yeah. Like, I don't know if that's a reference yet, but like,
It's too much.
It was a lot. Because like, they spend a lot. This very intentional everything they do.
Oh my God.
The pre-visits, have you seen it?
Of course.
It's like an animated version of the show. Like,
Yeah.
why do you need us?
Yeah.
This is already done,
Yeah.
Just for them to put that much trust and faith in what our team could do, because it's not just me. It was Katie, it was Lee, Isaac. It's just, it was as scared as I was and as nervous as I was, it paled in comparison to how excited I was.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I got to live in this world. I had an apartment on Coruscant. You know?
did, dude. You did. We
Yeah.
were with you in your own residence.
That's what I'm saying.
On
Yeah,
Coruscant,
they're like,
dude.
"Where's Omid? It's lunch." I'm like hanging out in my apartment. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I loved being on set. I
it's-
love the practicality because it's
It's
still
all
a lot
there.
of
Wait,
practical set.
What's the significance of that street? Is it like right next to where you guys were shooting?
Coruscant?
Yeah.
Coruscant's
Coruscant is a planet in Star Wars.
So you're gonna turn left on Coruscant? Yeah. No, Coruscant is where like
I thought you guys literally-
it is the New York City of the Star Wars world.
Got you.
Like, yeah.
Got you. Yeah. Okay. I thought you were talking about real life. Like you're like, it was
Yeah,
cool. Like
no,
being.
no.
I'm glad I lived on Coruscant Street. It's just like
Yeah, I
that.
lived
This
on
like dope
Coruscant Street.
apartment, right? It's just like 2 blocks away from set.
No, my apartment
Got you.
was on set. It was
That's
on the world.
that's the place where that episode.
Yeah,
takes
that's
place.
where the
I love
episode.
that city.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of that city. Actually,
It's super cool, dude.
that's
I
actually
love
on
their
my bucket
plaza.
list to visit.
Where you got that ice cream looking thing.
Yeah.
No, but I hear you, dude, and it is a fully fleshed out, almost real life functioning universe. The sets I was on, I was interacting with the whole set.
Absolutely,
like everything
yeah,
was
yeah.
built from scratch by hand, weathering on the drawers of a workshop that they just built last week.
Yeah.
Like it's crazy the amount of detail
Yeah.
and time that goes in before you even step in
Yeah.
to then live out
Right.
your experience there. And
Right.
and we literally followed Dr. Pershing through an emotional arc,
Yeah.
tons of different sets,
Yeah.
tons of different interactions with different characters.
You're not just acting with human beings. You're acting with
Droids.
robots.
Yeah.
Animatronic.
Yeah.
Puppetry.
Yep.
Like
Yeah.
it was. I knew that this was one of the most special moments of my life.
Yeah.
And I remember I was listening to a CD, just one CD, over and over again because you can place. You know how music connects you to specific parts of your life
Yes.
emotionally?
Yeah, for
I
sure.
wanted to remember this time. And if I listen to this album, it takes me back to what it felt like to work on that show. Because after a while, you kind of like,
Sure.
feel separated from it. So
Yeah.
if I put on that album, then I
Oh my God.
That's
it
cool.
was-
You did that intentionally, like set it up like
I
as
did,
a
yeah.
portal in the past.
Because I noticed like certain albums like reminded me of certain girlfriends, and like I was like,
Yeah.
Like I'll
for
just
sure.
I'll
Oh my gosh.
engineer this for myself
Exactly.
rather than it be a cause of.
Yeah.
I had a similar experience. I would light a Nag Champa incense and then start Solitude, that song Solitude by Billie Holiday. In my solitude.
yeah.
The jazz song.
Yeah,
I would
yeah.
start that radio, light the incense in my room that they
Yeah.
gave me, and then like stretch for that whole song. And it was how I started every single day
Right.
on set. And now if that song will play at random when I'm listening to jazz or something, I'm right away flashing
You're
into
taken back to it.
I'm taken back there,
Yeah.
and it feels so good because I
Yeah.
just felt so good.
Yeah.
on that set. They
Yeah.
make you feel so safe and heard and
Absolutely,
appreciated and
yeah,
taken
man.
care of, inspired. They're like, try that.
Yeah.
Try this.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, we love what you're doing there.
Right.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah,
Yeah.
explore that if you want.
You are not a talking prop. You
No.
know, you are an artist. You are
Yeah.
part of the creative process, and you got to credit like Dave and John
Oh
and
my
all them,
goodness.
like
Incredible
for,
leaders.
for giving us that environment.
Mm-hmm.
They give you that artistic liberty.
Yeah.
On set.
They do,
to-
yeah. Like I'm sure this was like they're like, listen, you got questions, something doesn't make sense, come talk to us. We'll figure it out. You know,
Yeah, like they want it to be a cohesive, like
Yeah.
collaborative,
Yeah.
artistic project. They respect your viewpoint as an artist.
yeah,
I will literally credit working on Ahsoka and the way the energy on set felt to parts of what I envisioned and hoped for how it would feel to make this with the team we have here.
yeah,
Truthfully, like
Yeah.
there was like so many things I learned from being on that show, but one of the main things that stuck with me was this energy that they cultivate, this space.
yeah.
It is like everyone's there for honest reasons. Everyone's there because they want to be there, because they love this world, they love the work it is, and it's like no ego. It's like, hey, we're here to service the project, the whole.
Yeah.
And then there was always a reminder. Dave would randomly be like, remember, this is for kids.
Yeah.
And it was always like, and it was never at anything. It wasn't because something was said or done or whatever. It would just randomly remind everyone.
Yeah.
And sometimes it was even a joke, you know? But it was like a solid reminder because it's like, oh yeah, Star Wars. There's like a purity to it
Right.
Yeah.
that is meant to appeal and be something that children grow up with,
Yeah.
right? It's been with so many people for so long that now adults have it so much in their lives, and it speaks to everyone's inner child
Yeah.
in
For
that
sure.
way.
Yeah.
Well, I thought that's what was interesting about The Mandalorian and what struck me about it first was it felt like it kind of had a little bit more of like a Gotham-esque undertone to it compared to other Star Wars projects that I've seen that seem to be more on the surface kid-friendly. But there was like some like moments and
Yeah.
like the end of your episode, like I felt some type of way.
Yeah.
In the last scene when she takes a bite of the travel biscuits.
Yeah.
That I was like, it kind of like it stayed with me for the rest of the
Evil.
night. I was just imagining like how like really dark and like sinister that is, and I was like, ooh.
Yeah, you know what's interesting? It's interesting because like what you said about like we make this for kids. Like I remember because that scene in particular, I was like, my instinct, because based on all the work I've done, like I have played an inmate in Abu Ghraib, like I have been tortured every which way, being Middle Eastern. You know, like I know how to be tortured. I know how to act like I'm getting tortured. So my instinct was to go really dark on it. And I remember they're like, listen, at the end of the day, it is a family show. And then Dean was our cinematographer, who was also the cinematographer on Jurassic Park. He was like, hey, he's like, do you remember Jurassic Park? I'm like, yeah. He's like, do you remember that part where that guy gets eaten by the raptors, you know? He was Newman on Seinfeld, I think. Like, yeah. I was like, yeah, I remember. He's like, so he did this take, he did the initial take, and Steven Spielberg came up. He's like, hey, listen, man, you gave me a great R-rated take. I need a PG take. Like a PG. No, you gave me a great R-rated scream. Now give me a PG scream. And so he had to change the way he screamed. And so I had to change the way I approached that scene based on they didn't want real life torture. They wanted the Star Wars version of it, you know?
Yeah, distressed.
Distressed, yes, yes. There was humor to it somewhere,
You guys better
know?
knock it off. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So it's interesting. It's interesting
Yeah.
that you say that, yeah.
I think it's a really noble through line that Star Wars has maintained since its inception via George Lucas. Like I was also not much of a Star Wars person growing up, not because I didn't like it, but because it never really
weren't exposed to it, right?
reached me. Yeah, like I saw one film, and since being on the show, I've obviously dove in and like watched as much as I could, you know, keep in my brain for now. And I was like, oh, okay. When I first got into some stuff, I go, oh, okay, this is for kids. Okay, got it. But also adults love it, so I'm gonna watch it and see what this is, you know. And then as I get into it more and more and more, I'm realizing, oh my God, they are delving into some of the like main trials and tribulations of being a human being.
Yeah.
Navigating light and dark, good and bad, right and
absolutely.
wrong, family, love, relationship. I was like, oh, this is the hero's journey, time and time again, character after character, and it's like free of race, free of that kind of stuff because it lives in this space fantasy world. And I was like, oh, this is a version of teaching
Absolutely.
the
yeah.
youth morals and goodness and teach a new generation things. The Force being one with all of us. There's so much that is synonymous with religions and ideologies
Yeah.
and philosophies that I've already loved and indulged in and like follow in some
Yeah.
ways. Like we were talking about in one of the episodes that getting around ritual around a fire is something that the religion Zoroastrianism
Yeah.
has, and even in that religion, right, there's the light and the dark, Ahura Mazda and Angry Manu. And it's just like in Star Wars, the light side and the dark side, right? And it was just fascinating, and I thought, you know what? This is like a type of work to put into the world that is quite literally service. This is
Yeah.
like, even though it's also entertaining and
Yeah,
fun
yeah,
and
no, it is,
fantastical,
yeah.
but there is a service through line, and I think thinking of children keeps it somewhat honest in that way. And I admire it. I'm like, oh,
Right.
you have to like kill some of your darlings of ideas you could have.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you're like, oh, that's sick, that's amazing. An R-rated, torturing, mind-flaying
Yeah.
scream
Yeah.
would be so intense and good entertainment,
Yeah.
good TV, good cinema. But it's not what we're doing,
Yeah.
and it will pull people out of this flow state we've got them in with the purity of Star Wars and the way
Right,
it's a family
right,
thing. I
right.
think it's magnificent. I'm so
Yeah.
impressed by it. I'm like impressed by Dave and John. I'm like, you
It
guys
is, yeah,
are
man.
like,
I think they walk
doing the
that
work.
line really well, you know, between keeping it on that level where everyone can enjoy it, but also like dealing with themes and ideas that are, you know, appeal to a more mature audience. Like even like the, you know, the episode that we're referring to about your character, like I think it has like obvious parallels to things in history of the idea of you know, reform citizens from a society that gets, you know, conquered, loses in a war,
Right.
and then how do you deal with the people from that society who some may be complicit and sympathetic to the regime that was in charge, whereas others were just doing the speaking of regimes. Oh my God, here they are again. But so what do you do if you have a brilliant scientist who participated, you know, in projects for the enemy at one point, you know, but it's like they have to be reintegrated somehow. So what does that look like? And
yeah. I feel so blessed that was the storyline because I
really
mean,
cool.
I don't know, because it was very standalone, like you know, like it didn't quite fit the rest of the season.
it was definitely its own world.
It was his own thing. It was its own film, you know, like it was his own short
You
film.
really did get like a film. That's how it
Yeah.
felt. It was like I got to
Yeah.
watch Omid
Yeah.
be the leading role in this.
Yeah,
you
and
know, for the
I don't have
storyline.
much experience at being a leading role. Like it just.
Hey, congrats.
Thanks,
Sick,
man.
dude.
Yeah,
Awesome
thank you.
work.
I'll always have that, you know.
Yeah,
Like,
awesome work. You knocked it out of the park.
thank you.
Seriously.
Thank you. I'm very proud of it. You know.
You should
yeah,
be.
Yeah. But I appreciate you guys saying that.
Yeah, of course. What was that? So you mentioned, you know, you got the call, you got everything. You were like, oh, I have this whole thing. And then as you went through it, did you come into sort of like a new, okay, I could do this, or oh, they make this easy, or was it kind of on the edge the whole time? How did that go
Were you talking about?
for Dr. Pershing?
Specifically in that season.
in season
I
3.
was in a flow state.
Okay,
Everything made sense.
Oh, love to hear that.
I
That's
had
awesome.
very little. I wasn't second guessing myself at all, and a lot of it had to do with Isaac, who was the director, Lee Isaac Chung.
Legend.
Yeah, and he would give a suggestion, and I would say, "Listen, man, I'm going to try that suggestion, but I also have something I want to try too." And he'd be like, "Absolutely." So it was just a very welcoming environment. I never questioned what I was doing, and I don't feel that way very often.
Yeah.
You know.
A lot of trust in that world.
Yeah, it was
A lot of trust.
it was such a beautiful experience. Yeah.
Yeah, you know, this idea of having faith or trust in the universe, I feel like as it developed in my personal life, like as I realized, I'm looking to embody more faith and trust. I want to surrender to this. And like, I want to receive some help. If there's some spiritual help that can be bestowed upon me, honestly, I would really like that. I'm going to just accept it. I don't know if it's real or not, but I really want to dive in and just give it a chance to help me.
Yeah.
I had quit acting in that journey, and I was on just my own path spiritually, wanting to find happiness and peace. And acting emerges in my life, represents itself, and all of a sudden I'm like, well, these roles feel aligned, but I feel different now. And before, I used to think about all the things my character would do, and we talked a little bit about method. I was trained Meisner, so you don't use method. The idea of what method is, which is to like live as the character and do all that stuff.
Yeah.
But I couldn't help myself. Sometimes I would, like almost out of like insecurity for the role. I was like, like
you didn't trust.
I don't have enough faith that on the day when we go, it's gonna be there.
Right,
so what else can I do? How much could I possibly do to make sure I'm in the emotional state, the head space, like the physical state?
Yeah.
And I would overcomplicate things and overcompensate. And then after years of starting to develop this like sort of insecure habit towards my acting, I realized I was getting worse at acting.
Yeah.
I was watching all my self-tapes.
You
And I was watching all my damn self-tapes. and I didn't like a damn one of them.
Like that.
I thought, what's this accent's coming out? I don't know what I'm doing.
I can put
Hollering on there.
In that era, you called me with a New York accent one time.
Yeah, that's right. I was trying to talk from the Bronx. Like, hey, I'm trying really hard to work on this fucking New York accent. I can't get it. I got a scene coming up in my acting class.
Listen.
And then, whoa. He likes the New York accent.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm walking in. Look at that. Because I was just like really I was just trying to get better at acting. I wanted to be a good actor. I just wanted to be good. And then coming back to acting, I had this new perspective on faith and trust and knowing like, no, everything that needs to be there will always be there.
Yeah.
I always have everything I need. I am always going to be enough. There is no stress. I'm being chosen for this role because I'm in alignment with it. And when I'm there on the day, whatever needs to happen will happen for me to be exactly where I need to be emotionally, physically, whatever it is. And I definitely felt on Star Wars that I was in a flow state like I've never been in.
Like, I could tell,
Thank you.
And I didn't even know who you were at that point.
Wow.
I just knew that you're half Iranian, and that was enough to get my attention. I was like, who is this guy? Who is this guy? And then you came on, and it immediately made sense.
Wow.
I don't know. It was a beautiful presentation of that character.
Thanks, man.
Yeah.
It was, dare I say, one of the most effortless things I've ever
looked
done.
effortless.
But not that there wasn't this deep intentionality. Like I said, I had this process every morning. I was doing like a 45-minute relaxation routine that I learned, and obviously the due diligence of knowing your lines, getting your blocking down, doing all your stunt choreography. But all of it felt very inspired and motivated. I never felt like, God, I have so much work to do and I have to get it. It was just like, I'll do this, do that, show up, and it'll be there. And it was always there, and it would surprise me sometimes, but something about the fact that everyone who is involved with making these projects is operating, at least from my perspective, a lot like that. You're witnessing people in these sorts of creative flow states and outpourings. I mean, the amount that the creators of these shows, Dave and John and everyone involved, Carrie and everyone, pour into it for it to branch into a million different things and then coagulate into the final picture. It's all amorphous. It's changing every second, even on set or on the day or on the whatever. Boom, this is completely different now. It's almost like watching a hive function. It seems like they all know what they need to do, even if it's all just happening at the same time in a way.
Right.
It's fascinating, and I feel like it bled into me. I was like, oh, this is their rhythm.
Right.
And their rhythm is really fucking good. you know?
Yeah.
You
Really
acclimate
fucking
to
good.
that frequency.
Absolutely, their frequency. It was like,
Yeah.
It's like Burning Man. Like
It's
you
one of
just,
those.
like, just,
It's
like,
one of
tap
the
in.
rare. Like it was one of the rare sets that I worked on where the crew, everybody who worked on it, for the most part, was a fan of the product. They were Star Wars fans. You know, like it was not just a job for money. It was also a passion project at the same time for a lot of people. And I think that's like what kind of like helped that vibe that we pick up on, you know. And it's interesting to hear you talk about acting and that and just letting go, because I remember, like, you know, when we're young actors, you're like, you know, you get a scene, you're like, oh, this scene's gonna be on my demo reel. I am gonna act the fuck out of the scene. I am gonna try so hard.
cry so hard. I'm gonna yell so loud.
There is nothing, and there's no magic. This is not lifting weights, you know. You don't just try hard. You don't try. You don't act harder. You know what I mean? Like
I tried to.
I do, yeah.
Charity tried to. All said dirty nose.
we have to do it to know that it doesn't work, and that's not how it.
You're doing
You
it.
gotta
You feel
go
like
there.
a buffoon out there. You're like, well, that felt
I said La La
Try to
Land,
squeeze
dude.
out of
I
it,
definitely
right?
didn't
Yeah.
make that work.
You have to let go. It is an art form. It is not necessarily a science. You know, like
Yeah.
you gotta unpucker your butthole. You know, like you have to go back to that. You have to let go and trust that. And you know,
Clip
like I just know anytime I've like tried to do a good job on a scene, it was just uninteresting. And those times that it's funny because like there was a show I was on in 2006 called Sleeper Cell, and I played. It's probably I think what is one of my best performances I've ever given, if not the best. It was a gay British Iraqi terrorist, and so those are 4 things I don't identify as.
Okay.
You know, and so I had a very explicit sex scene coming up with this guy, and I was so nervous about the physicality of this scene that I didn't pay attention to the dialogue that came after. Like, it was a guy who was in conflict with his sexuality. Like, he wanted to, but he didn't want to. And he's doing it with this guy. And then he's like, I can't do this. This is against my faith. This is against who I am. Don't you ever, you know.
Oh, whoa.
And all with a British accent.
Best acting in it.
But like, I just remember I didn't pay attention to this scene. It was like,
Right, you just forgot. You were focused so
I
much
was
on this
so
other
focused so much on this that scene that followed that was some of the best work I've ever done. And it's because I did not prepare for it.
Yeah.
And I didn't trust it. I didn't even think about it. But like,
Wow.
it was so effortless. It felt
It's like
Wow.
the innate intelligence of
Right.
just like letting it happen and not preparing or letting your thoughts get in the way, just
Yeah,
showing up and
yeah.
doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that moment I realized, whoa, I just gotta let go more often, you know, and trust that I am capable, and it will come if you're truthful to the moment, you know.
Yeah, like if you're present.
Yeah, if you're
You
present,
can't
that's
be-
all it takes.
If
yeah.
you're thinking about how the scene could go or should go, or
Yeah.
what state you want to be in, you're not present.
Yeah.
You're not currently where you
Yeah.
are. I have found so many moments in acting since adopting this where I'll be like ready to do a scene and not feeling anything like the scene in my head. I'm like, it seems like the scene is going to go this way, but it's not really how I feel right now. But I'm just going to say the lines and see what happens, you know?
Yeah.
And then something will happen in the room and someone will say something and blah, blah, blah. And it elicits something in me. And then they're like, okay, we got to go. Are we ready to go? And I'm like, oh, whoa. Like, why did this random off-screen thing between 2 people just have to happen? Yeah. Now I feel the way the scene feels.
Right.
What a weird coincidence.
Yeah.
And I realized in that moment on that set, like, oh, that's how far the surrender goes. Everything around you, while you're supposedly about to be playing a character, is informing your character.
Yeah.
And if the script is, you know, one that you chose because you connected to it and the set is built around it, the intentionality of the entire process to film a moment in life, which is the scene, will inform that.
Yeah.
You're aware of where you are, you're aware of your character, you know all the things, you know what the world is, and your innate intelligence does take over. All of a sudden, the words come flying out, the emotions are there, they show up out of nowhere. That was magic. I used to see people in acting classes like break down and cry or explode in anger or just even burst out laughing, like things that were like overwhelming emotions.
Yeah.
And be like, where the fuck did that come from?
Yeah.
That was just like, it's like I'm witnessing life for the first time.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
happening for the first time. And it wasn't until letting go and surrendering that stuff started to literally happen in real time for me on camera.
Yeah.
But like, it doesn't.
But that's the beauty of camera. It just needs to happen once, and they'll have it.
Right. But
You know?
yeah. And I say, and I say it in the sense that it's just happening.
Yeah.
For you.
Yeah.
And because you kind of forget about the cameras.
Yeah.
When you're
Yeah.
that present to the
Yeah.
point where something can literally be happening to you for the first time and
Yeah.
you're responding to it, like really responding, then it ends and they're like, cut. And you're like, oh, yeah.
Right.
Oh,
right,
yeah. Like we're recording this it's not real.
Right.
You know, like
Yeah, yeah.
something
Back to
clicks.
reality. Yeah.
Yeah, because you really are experiencing whatever it is. I don't know how to explain it. It's like,
You don't. I mean, I get it. Yeah.
yeah. So what do you think about like method acting versus Meisner? What did you study? Or
Look, I studied. I studied more than Meisner tracked.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
We're like brothers.
Meisner is what helped acting click for me.
Mm-hmm.
That it's just about giving and receiving. You know.
Yeah.
And those two have to go together. So, but like method acting, I think this is an art form. I don't think everyone should have the same process.
Right.
I think you use whatever process for whatever scene or whatever that specific project or scene calls for. But at no point, and this I feel strongly about this, should your process be disrespectful to anybody else.
Totally. Shouldn't impede on anyone else's
Yeah.
experience or piece.
Yeah, I've heard a few horror stories about method actors who have potentially could have harmed somebody else. Like
Yep.
have been unkind to other people in a way that I don't find conducive to doing good work.
You mean in the process of being their character
Yeah,
in their normal
yeah,
lives
yeah,
and treating
yeah.
people poorly to emulate the character? And, okay, I got it.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
there's a line there.
I think
ethically.
if you are in the moment, if you don't want to be distracted, or I think by all means, fine, whatever you need, totally, I get it. But if you're an asshole to someone, I just don't get that. This is so I just feel like there's so many different methods to do what we're doing.
Yeah.
And everyone has to find their own.
Well, you mentioned that Meisner was one that helped acting really click for you.
Yeah.
I also went through Meisner, and it was such a revelatory experience. I almost wish I could download the experience of going through a Meisner acting class into everybody's brain. I'm like, you have no idea the things it brings up. Like you couldn't replicate the reworking and the perspective shifts it does in your brain. The way you think about yourself and your emotions and your habits and your impediments and your, like I had, even a simple thing, really early on in my Meisner class, my first teacher, Laurel Vouvray, who's one of the best teachers in the world, in my opinion. She, in the first week of like me being in the class, or second week something, repetition.
Yeah.
We did this exercise in Meisner. It's called repetition, where you repeat.
Do you know
a
this,
phrase.
by the way, or no?
No, yeah, I was gonna say for like people at home who aren't actors, I think people have heard of like method acting, but what's the Meisner? If you could like summarize it.
You'll explain it. Right?
Yeah. So
I just want to make sure.
Living truthfully under imaginary circumstances is sort of the through line for it.
Okay.
And it's more about listening and answering, receiving, being in the present moment.
Gotcha.
So you're not like thinking of things to say ahead of time or planning emotions. You are following the flow of listening and answering. So one of the biggest examples they give in Meisner is if I pinch Omid here, he'll say ouch in response to the pinch.
Yeah.
Ouch.
Ow! Yeah. So that is. Sorry, it was a little hard. Sorry, Omid. We don't normally pinch our guests, brother. Oh, it came over me, dude. The acting in me. But the pinch to the ouch has to be exact, right?
Yeah.
I pinched him harder, so the ouch was louder and even came back around.
Yeah.
But in acting, sometimes we pretend like we are
Listening.
doing something else,
Yeah.
feeling some other way. You say, Eman, fuck you. And I'm like, fuck you. But I'm not really mad like that. I don't really feel that way. I'm just
Right.
being loud to seem mad.
Because you think, like hypothetically.
Because that's how the scene should go. But
Yeah.
your pinch, which was, hey, Eman, fuck you, which was
Yeah.
really relaxed and didn't offend me at all.
Yeah.
And my ouch don't match. Me going, hey, fuck you, doesn't match with.
So it seems off, yeah.
So it's off, so it's
You-
not truthful. You're not being present. You're not listening.
You want to respond authentically.
You want to respond in, in tune with it, right?
Gotcha.
That's part of it. And so this exercise called repetition is meant to help train that muscle, being present, listening, and answering.
Yeah.
And after I did mine, this guy was like being a total jerk to me. And I just kept laughing and smiling it off and laughing it off and being like, you're pissed, you know? Like, yeah, you're mad at me. Like, dude, you're overreacting. And he's like, you're offended. I'm like, I'm not offended. He's like, you're fucking pissed. I'm like, I'm not pissed. But I'm pissed. Yeah. I'm fucking pissed, dude. Yeah. But I had no idea. Instead of acting pissed and showing this motherfucker, I'm so mad at you. Why are you talking to me like this? Yeah. I was trying to de-escalate and like, hey, we're in an acting class right now. Let's keep it cool, man. I'm chilling, you know? And she was so funny. She was like, yeah, Eman, you like to hide behind your smile. And I was like, what? She's like, yeah, when you're uncomfortable, you hide behind your smile. When you're angry, smile. And she's so funny because she'll do it for you for a second. And you're like, that's not what I do. I don't do that. And I'm like, widest smile you can imagine. I'm like, that's not what I do. She's like, you're embarrassed right now and you're smiling. I'm like, oh, shit. I was like, damn, I'm doing that. What the hell is wrong with me? I'm like realizing for the first time. I'm like, oh, wow. Yeah. And it's like a defense mechanism that was exposed to me in this class. And I forgot why I got onto Meisner, I'll be honest.
I don't know, but like I tell you what.
You asked him about your approach, and then we were just talking about the two philosophies.
Oh, Meisner. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, so I was wondering, do you have a moment that you can remember? Because I have a few during my time learning Meisner that different amounts of things clicked, and I was like,
absolutely.
Oh, that's how that happens. Oh, that's what that means.
Yeah, like for me, like it happened in a Meisner exercise as well. Funny enough.
Yeah.
And it was literally. I was saying, I'm sorry, and my partner was saying, you're sorry. And it was, so if you just read that on a script, on a page, what is it? I'm sorry, what does that mean? So then you realized, we kept saying, I'm sorry. I said, I'm sorry. And she's like, you're sorry. I said, I'm sorry. And the emotions I went through, being emotional, and I'm really apologetic, and then I'm defensive, and I'm still saying I'm sorry. You know? Like the whole rainbow, the spectrum of the emotions was like, all with this one line.
Yeah.
And acting clicked for me in that moment. Yeah. You know? Yeah. The intentionality. And that's just, sometimes we mean something different than what we say, you know?
Yeah.
And I thought that was a beautiful realization I had at that, you know.
It's a deep one too, because it's so visceral.
Because it applies to life, you know.
Yeah.
It can mean so many things. So many profound moments. Like,
I do wish everybody.
I
had, you know, just one weekend workshop of Meisner.
There were people in my class in Austin, Texas, who weren't even actors.
Yeah.
They were like, oh, I joined it for like, I thought acting seemed cool. It's like a hobby.
Yeah.
They joined one of the best acting classes in the world on accident because it's like a classic, back room of a
this
random.
Was Texas or
Austin, Texas.
Wow.
Low Vouvray. She studied under Sanford Meisner, like in one of the original cohorts for so many years, and now teaches Meisner herself. And so there were people in there who were like, "Oh, this is just my therapy."
Right.
I was like,
it is my therapy, yeah.
You're in this, you're not an actor? You're not like trying to make it big? I'm like just getting into acting at the time. I'm like, you're not trying to be a movie star? And they're like, nah, I got kids, I got a family, like, I'm just trying to, I just like what this does for me. I think it's a healthy thing. I was like, it helped me recontextualize what I was doing in there. It totally went from, I'm just going to go in here, learn a bunch of acting tricks, go make movies and make money. Right? And it turned into the craft and the art form. It turned into this intentional thing to treat with love and respect and honor. And like, you're like, oh, this is so deep. This is so much more than I thought it was going to be. I've just, like, me becoming an actor was, really realized by taking this Meisner class. It was just like, oh, the journey of an actor is not what I thought it was about to be. This is like a journey into the self.
No, this is the artist. Like this is not the actor.
Yeah, exactly. This is a path. Yeah. I'm like a samurai, but of conscious expansion and meeting yourself and meeting other people where they've met themselves. It's interesting to get into a scene with someone because you can like drop in to a certain level with some people and drop into another level with other people.
Yeah.
And obviously the scene dictates that.
Yeah.
The chemistry dictates that. Just like in life, what
Yeah.
kind of conversations you could drop into with who you talk to.
Yeah.
But there have been some very profound moments. Have you had a performance that you would say you've loved the most?
I mean, Sleeper Cell was one of them.
Right.
American Gods was another one of them.
What kind of character did you play in that?
So it's a pretty complicated. American God's a complicated story, but it's just I just got to tell you briefly. Like it is about. So the concept of the book, Neil Gaiman wrote this book. It's an immigration story about how gods came to America on the backs of immigrants, and every immigrant from all over the world brought their own versions of their gods. And so these gods came here, and it's kind of like Elf. You remember Elf? Like if
John
you believe
Favreau
in
Elf?
Santa Claus, you know,
Yeah.
they're more
Will Ferrell Elf?
powerful. Yeah.
John Favreau wrote and directed
Yeah,
Elf?
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like the more belief you have in Santa Claus, the more powerful Santa Claus is.
Right.
And so these gods were brought here to America, and people really believed in them. But over time, they started to lose faith and interest in their gods, and started believing in these new gods of money, technology. And so there's this whole fight in the human consciousness. Yeah, of like your old faith and this these new gods against the old gods. And so that's the battle. So these gods are characters in the story.
Whoa.
So you have Nordic gods, you have Greek gods, Roman gods, Jesus, 12 Jesuses, every different version of Jesus.
Jesuses?
Yeah,
Multiple
Jesuses.
Jesuses?
Multiple Jesus.
Jesuses.
White, brown, black, Asian, you know, like...
You don't say.
Yeah.
You don't say.
You don't say.
What?
Different races of Jesus.
Different races of
We always
Jesus.
just had an intuition there could be multiple Jesuses.
We always
Yeah.
sort of categorize many
Yeah.
Jesuses.
So those are all the old gods.
So these
in
are
this
old
plot.
gods,
Okay.
and then there's the new gods of money, technology, media. And so they're fighting for the human mind. And so my character was a man, a human from Oman who comes to America. He hates himself because he's religious, he's Muslim, but he's also gay. And his religion and his sexuality are in conflict with each other. So he is down on life. He feels like there's no place for him in this world. Probably is borderline suicidal, I think, even though it's never mentioned. And he meets this jinn. The jinn, if you don't know, in the Arab, Middle Eastern cultures, it's like a genie, you know?
Okay.
But like a non-cartoonish version of it, you know? Okay. And then he connects with this jinn, and they have this magical, out of this world night together. And he goes on this journey of being okay with who he is sexually and religiously, where faith and sexuality can be, can work together. And so I loved playing that character. Even again, those are things that I don't identify as. And I just know I have people in my life, and family life, who have struggled with hiding their sexuality. A lot of people I know couldn't come out until their dads died. You know, and how sad that is. That you don't know your kid because they're terrified of what you think of them. Anyways, it's a role that I was like, it was kind of like the Ezra Bridger thing. Like, not that it was anything like magical like that, but like I was like, I want to play this role. This is something I want, and it was one of those roles that I won inside the room. Like I knew I got the project in the room. They're like, we'll see you in Toronto. Like, and so I'm very proud of the work I did on that one. But there's also other ones too. But like that was a very special one to me because it also, when I got that part, I don't know if you remember the Pulse nightclub shooting in Orlando.
Yeah. That happened when we were in France.
Oh, really?
Right.
Yeah. That had just happened. So this was a story that I really was passionate about wanting to tell. But it was different because this is the second time I played a gay character that was also Muslim. The first time I did it, there was no social media. The second time I played it, people were like, "Are you scared? Are you scared for your life?" I was like, what? Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
They're like, well, you know, you're doing this, you're gonna upset a lot of people, and like, I didn't think of that, you know,
Right.
like, so immediately, you'll see on my Instagram, right until when I work on on American Gods, I stopped posting. I just left social media.
Oh wow.
Yeah, because I was so terrified of people they're like, here's my card. This is the Islamic like foundation. If you need any support, this and that. And so the show came out, and this performance, and it was like all over because it was very explicit. It was not for the faint of heart.
It made a splash.
It made a splash. And I remember I had stopped my Instagram. I still have an account. I just stopped using it. I was like, I just wouldn't check it. And I started, you see your messages, and the number just started going really high. And I was like, and this is also after my son was born, so I already had PTSD and I didn't trust the universe, right? I was like, oh, these are all people, they want to kill me, they hate me.
Oh.
I've offended a great deal of people. And one day I just was having a glass of wine. I'm like, you know what? I can't be like this for the rest of my life. I'm going to check it. And not to say that there wasn't the occasional like shitty message from somebody. What I started getting, like 90% of them, was like, I'm from the Middle East. I live in the Middle East. Thank you so much for telling the story. I am so scared. I can't be myself. Wow. And your story, your performance touched me.
Wow.
And listen, I say this, like, honestly, I act for very selfish reasons. I act because it makes me feel good. I love acting. I love the craft of it. I love working on my own personal stuff. So it's not on my mind what I'm doing is for other people. It's a very selfish thing I do. But when I realize that the work I do does affect people, I was laying there. I remember I was laying there on the couch crying. Like, it was just, just being able to affect people in such a positive way. Also a negative way, but fuck those people.
But it is interestingly still somehow positive, because elucidating something that they are triggered by, it's actually a way that they could work on that trigger. Like we've all been triggered before, and then later on maybe come around to, oh, I was triggered. That was a me thing. I need to heal this part of me. That's why I felt that way. That's why I was angry about that.
I don't know if these people will have those thoughts. I hope they do.
Right, but I'm saying, in the hopeful grand scheme of things, it could be something that eventually brings them around. They could be so in a self-hating place because of resonating with your character that they instead decide to attack you for doing, because what it does is it's technically exposing, maybe if that is them, and that's why they're so angry about it, because they hate that about themselves, you're exposing it to them. It's like,
maybe,
it can be that way.
Sometimes really religious people,
Right.
have a very black and white way of thinking about life,
There are some people who it's not going to be.
Well, any religion, not just specifically this one religion. It's just like, it could be anything.
In general,
Right,
but 90% were positive, and it was you telling a story that 90% they resonated with. That's really incredible.
That's so cool, because it's almost like the other side of the coin of like the thing that people were warning you about, which turned out to be like it was really hitting a nerve, but it turned out to be this other like beautiful side of it, of like people who are living that reality, who can't express themselves, you know, comfortably or safely in their community, and like it's like a little, vicarious thing for them.
Yeah. Like, it's funny because a lot of people are like, are you scared that your kid's gonna see this, like, and they're gonna make fun of you or judge you as friends? I'm like, no, man. I want my kid to know that this I'm proud of what I did. I'm proud of the stories I tell. I don't care if he sees it, like, I don't, anyways, it's,
Yeah, that's beautiful, man. Well, I can't wait to check that out. I'm really
let me know
excited
what you think.
to see that. And it was Splinter Cell, you said, right?
Sleeper Cell.
Sleeper Cell.
What's the best place to stream American Gods?
Good question.
We'll find it.
It was on Star. Look,
Google it.
Amazon has everything. You might have to like rent it, but
that's fine. It
was on Stars.
Has your son seen any of your work?
Not American Gods, but listen, no, he was actually he's seen some of it, but he was actually in the Mandalorian.
Your son is in The Mandalorian?
with me. Yeah, you don't know this? Yeah.
Wait.
So he. Oh,
Molly's trying.
that's
Molly
like
is
the Homer Simpson.
100%
in the
in
bushes
a
meme.
bush right now.
I keep. Every time she does that, I'm worried she's gonna come out with a mouse.
Yeah. So season 3, that episode, it was during the height of COVID, and you know, when you're part of a project, you feel more comfortable enough to ask to bring your family on set, as opposed to like being a guest star or something like that. And so I was talking to the director beforehand, and we were talking about. He's like, I'm like, do you have a family? He's like, yeah, I have a wife and kid. I'm like, oh, are you gonna bring them on set? He's like, we can't have guests because of COVID. They have to go through this whole Disney COVID protocol of getting tested and stuff. He's like, but I'm gonna have them in the background of one of the scenes, so they can go through the testing and still get to be on set. I was like, oh, get out. He's like, why? Do you have a kid? I was like, yeah. He's like, do you want him to? I'm like, yeah. Oh. I would love that. And he's like, okay, yeah. I'll put a call in. I was like, put a call in. I'll never hear from this again. Literally within 5 minutes of hanging up. The AD called me. He's like, so I hear we have a son. You want to get him on set? We need to get all the paperwork squared away. So he got to work 2 days as a background actor.
That's awesome.
On the course, the Plaza Monument Park scene. And he got the VIP treatment. I mean, like, he got to meet, like, you know, Grogu. And when I say meet Grogu, it's not like, here's Grogu, like this. Like, it's like the team brought him to life, you know. And the Grogu waved at, like, to my son, Miles, who had just turned 6 at the time. He went through the costuming department. He got you know, he got to meet all the puppetry and all. He got to see all the behind the scenes, like, scenes magic of Star Wars. And I remember, like, asking at the end of the day, I was like, so Miles, like, what was your favorite part? And he's like, Daddy, he's like, the chocolate croissant was amazing. And I was like, that's not what I was hoping to hear. I was like, that's what you took away from all this?
Yeah, no, you're like, I'm dad of the year. Look at this magical experience once in a lifetime.
I was like, this is not what okay, you know, you're a kid. But like, I was like, oh, so it didn't click. I didn't click, but I was like, okay, whatever. I'm just still glad that my wife got to come, he got to come. And then I remember putting him to bed that night, after a second night, and I was, you know, putting him to bed. I turned off the light and I was walking out, and I hear this, Daddy, and I was like, yeah, baby. And he's like, Coruscant is real. He's like, I've been there. And I was like, yeah, baby, you have. And I remember crying. I got teary. I was like, he got it.
Yeah.
He just needed his own time to process it.
Wow.
So not only has he seen some of the work, he's been in some of the work.
Whoa. That's awesome.
That's so cool.
So, maybe you don't want to identify who he is on screen. I was going to say.
Oh, you won't
later
know.
on
He's
you
in the
should-
background running around as a bunch of kids.
Did you see him?
If you pause it.
Yeah,
I know,
good.
but it's like
That's what matters.
It's
That's
like
what
a
matters.
silhouette.
There's
of
a
him.
moment you can show him where he's like, there I am. On the screen.
That's awesome. He made it
Yeah.
to the cut.
Yeah, it was so
That's
funny because
awesome.
I think because when I was first doing Mandalorian, he was like 3 or 4 or 5, 6, and people were like, isn't it cool your dad's in Star Wars? And I think he thought everyone's dad was in Star Wars. So he was like unimpressed by it. And it was until he got older, he realized not so much his friends thought I was cool, but his friends' dads thought I was cool. You know,
You got cred with the friend's dad.
Yeah.
Your dad loves my dad. 'Cause my dad's in Star Wars.
You're the king of the dads, dude.
King of the
But when they
dads.
start putting you in like the encyclopedia or the trading cards and you got the Legos and stuff, if I would have got the Legos, his head would have exploded. That's when it hits different.
For
you know?
sure.
Yeah.
Does he have aspirations to want to act, or is that
Absolutely
like a one-off?
not. No.
Okay.
Oh, well,
He's
yeah.
having
Soccer.
fun. No. Huh?
He's all soccer.
He wants to be a soccer
Soccer
player.
man.
Let's go. He is.
Yeah.
I have the opposite experience. My dad had never really seen Star Wars much.
Yeah.
So he has no clue about Star Wars. You know, I tell him, Dad, I'm playing this Jedi in Star Wars. Like Ezra Bridger's this big character. You know, had his whole show.
Yeah.
Awesome. You know, it's gonna pay good? Are you gonna be, like his brain is like, is this gonna help, you? Like, are
Such
you
immigrant mentality.
Yeah, like stability.
Yeah.
Money. You're gonna make money. You're gonna be okay.
Yeah.
God, great. God bless.
Yeah.
No idea the breadth
the
of
cultural magnitude.
Yeah,
of
the
it.
cultural magnitude of being in something like Star Wars, and it wasn't until watching it, and coming with me to a couple like private premieres that we watched episodes at.
Yeah.
Him and I would just first few episodes we just sat and watched it on the couch at his studio.
Yeah.
And we would just
Yeah.
sit together and watch it on the couch. One time Jake was there, and my friend Jake, who's earlier on the page, huge dude, barely fits on this couch with us, and us three are just like squeezed on this couch watching an episode of Ahsoka. And he's just kind of like trying to understand it. And then by the end of the series, going and seeing it with like a group of 20 people who worked on the show and
Yeah,
seeing
that
how
was cool.
different people who were acting in it, was starting to realize, oh, Star Wars.
Yeah.
You're like in Star Wars.
Yeah.
He was lit up like a Christmas tree at that screening that you put on.
Exactly, yeah.
He was so
Did you
proud.
invite him to the premiere?
We didn't have a
Oh,
premiere.
that's
we
right.
had
It was during the
strikes.
strike.
Yeah, dude.
I'm
no
so
press, no
sorry,
premieres.
yeah.
It's okay. I think there was a unique
You'll get one.
once in a lifetime
Second season.
experience I got, which was because it was a transition in my life as an actor and as a human from being someone who had acted in countless projects, films, all that stuff, but there not really being like an audience for everything I've done, or not having a bigger role in the bigger thing that might
Right.
have an audience.
Right.
So I never had the experience of being able to literally sit at home and on a streaming platform watch a show I'm in that's coming out weekly. Like
Yeah.
that never has existed.
Right.
So doing that with my dad on the couch or with friends at our, apartments was like, whoa, like I'm on that TV right now. Like it's really happening. I'm really acting in this thing and it's great. Look how great it looks. Like this is the
Yeah.
coolest thing I've ever been in my life.
Yeah.
This is so beyond me and I play my part in it, but look at this. Look, the advertising, the marketing, the action figures, the toys, the cards, I'm like, what? So it was an interesting way to integrate that.
Yeah.
I got it, I received it, and watched it like an audience member at home would.
Yeah.
Like I grew up watching things.
Right.
Not in the perspective of, I'm an actor at the premiere, and this is
Right,
my red
right.
carpet debut as Ezra, which is awesome.
Yeah.
Super cool, and have had brief moments of that, and it's so different and fun and rewarding, but like, I got like just the regular,
The regular thing.
like if
Yeah.
I was still in Laredo, Texas, watching a TV show,
Right.
you know what I mean?
Right.
Like, and it was really special.
Yeah.
Really, really special. I wouldn't change it for the world. But yeah, eventually there will be shows and movies I do where I'll get to go to the premieres and bring my family to them.
That's
Yeah.
my favorite because that's when they understand the magnitude of what you're doing.
Totally.
When you step out of the car that takes you to the premiere, Omid, or Eman. Look here. My parents are like, what's going on? Like, how do they know your name? Why are they pronouncing it right? Like, like it's just something like for someone who, we're exposed to it. We're somewhat used to it. We're like, we know it exists.
Yeah.
But for some people who've grown up outside of the entertainment industry, it is like,
Totally.
it's mind-boggling, and
Yeah.
I love the look on my parents' face when I took them to the Mando season 3 premiere. It was just like, wow, this is bigger than anything. This is bigger than your independent films, and you know what I mean?
That's Hollywood.
Yeah,
It's like
yeah.
the real deal Hollywood. I've never
Yeah.
felt so
Yeah.
like, whoa, California, Los Angeles, big time.
Yeah.
Hollywood.
Totally,
Like, it
right?
yeah.
Yeah.
It settles in. It's like this is like the pinnacle of like that experience of being like a success and
And like it's for a good franchise, like one that brings good into the world.
Yeah.
I remember feeling so aligned in the sense that I always wanted and hoped to pick roles that represented lessons or perspectives or stories that I really thought the world would benefit from seeing. That it could change someone's heart or perspective, or it could help people heal
Yeah.
or process things that they've gone through, or be inspired to do something.
Yeah.
So I had a role in King Richard, and I loved King Richard by Reynaldo Marcus Green, Will Smith, the Williams story, the tennis players, because it was so inspirational. And I was like, wait, that's exactly the kind of stuff I want to do. I want to like inspire. And
Wait, you had a role in that movie?
I did. I
wow.
play an assistant tennis pro.
Oh, do you
Which
really?
is so funny. I was a tennis coach for 8.5 years.
Yeah.
Quit acting, quit teaching tennis, and then the first role I play on my return is to be an assistant tennis pro in this movie. Both
Crazy.
things.
I'm gonna watch
And
that
I was
movie.
like, that's so silly. And I walk on set. They put me in a tennis outfit, like what I wore basically all the time. And my mark is on a tennis court, and they're like, Eman, here's your racket, and here's your basket of balls. I was like, dude, I'm just at work again, dude. I can't get away from these damn courts. But anyway, Star Wars is that as well. It's this like conduit of goodness that I'm like, oh, if I wasn't the actor on this and I knew this is what this was, I would hope to be able to contribute to it because I stand behind it.
Yeah.
Right.
Behind the work. I'm like, oh, this is a good thing for the world.
Right.
This brings good into the world. This brings
like
good.
a net positive.
It's a net
it's
positive.
bringing good. It's bringing joy. It's bringing entertainment.
Yeah,
and
comfort.
People working through things.
Yeah,
that
it's
otherwise
bringing
wouldn't
connection.
exist.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then for it to be the role, like for me to be able to act in it, which is something I just love to do
Right.
selfishly, something
Right.
I just like and enjoy.
For the love of the game.
Yeah.
For the love of the game, I could
Yeah.
act by myself. I do that.
Sometimes I do.
I do that.
Sometimes I just slip
Sometimes
into character.
just me
Sometimes I
and
can't
me.
help myself. Dude.
Hey.
That's why I slip into seizure, dude.
You talking to me? Howdy.
So he's like in the
Are you
shower.
talking to me? Yeah, like try that line with different accents. Are you talking to me? You stupid. You
Qu'est-ce que tu veux
stupid.
faire?
Qu'est-ce que tu fais?
Does that mean,
Demain?
what's your problem? What's qu'est-ce que tu fais mean? Is it your problem? What's your problem? No. What does that mean?
No, qu'est-ce que tu fais demain is what are you doing tomorrow?
Oh,
But what's funny is,
What are you
well, I
doing?
added it at the end. What's funny is I was trying to say, what's your problem? And then I accidentally said, qu'est-ce que tu fais? Which is, what are you doing? Yeah.
What
And
are you
I was like, tomorrow? Like, I might as well say tomorrow. I was like, it just slipped out. Right. Dude, just in flow state. Just
Sometimes I try to sound
character slipping
slick
out.
with the French, dude, but I'm just like counting on the fact that most of the people in the room don't really understand it. So it just kind of comes out like in like an organized, group of syllables.
Just a few French words strung together. Conjugation might be off, but nobody knows.
It's enough to impress 99% of people in the States, dude.
It's true, dude. You do hit some bangers in French.
You don't have to go far.
No.
C'est très facile. De temps en temps.
Très facile.
De faire
Très
un petit
facile.
blog.
So you're saying it's too easy?
Yeah.
Très facile, very easy.
Très facile.
Très
Yeah.
facile.
Plus facile.
Yeah. A little easy, yeah.
What part of France did you live in when you were there?
So we lived in Paris and then
sick.
in the south
Paris.
of France. Called Côte du Roi.
Côte du Roi.
Côte du Roi.
Mais oui.
Was that like a rural French?
It was on the Riviera. It was.
Whoa,
okay.
la la.
You know what's so funny is like people are like, oh,
Yeah.
you
Me,
know,
I'm people.
Texas must have been a huge change from like Iran and this and that. I'm like, no.
The real culture
Iran
shock.
to France was the culture shock. When you're in
God.
Iran, you got women covering themselves up head to toe
Yeah.
in hijabs or chadors, and like, and then you go move to France and you're on these beaches with topless ladies, and I'm 5 years old. I don't know what to do with myself. Like, I was like in heaven. I knew about my sexuality at 5. I remember I would go like on the beach in circles giving grades to women and their tops, to their boobies. And I think on the second or third cycle, my mom had to be like, "Omid, that's enough. That's enough."
What was your grading system? Like the
I
ABC?
think, I mean, in my memory, it was ABC, but that can't be because in Iran it's like 1 through 20.
That means there are some people
was,
you're
like,
giving.
detailed.
What's good score? What's bad score? Is 1 good, 20's
one,
bad?
I think 1's bad.
So
20 is good.
So were there some people you were giving 1s
I
out?
must
or?
have. Yeah,
I'm saying.
I remember grading
Some people
women,
20.
women's boobs. But and then my mom's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "What are you doing? You put me in a leopard speedo and a gold chain, like."
Yo, you're joking right
Look,
now.
I have
You
the
were
pictures,
5 years.
dude. I had a leopard speedo.
Yo, they put you in like a gigolo.
She sent me down the path.
Leopard speedo and a gold chain.
Yeah.
So you just started walking with your doodle tat on and shit, Johnny, 4. Shit, Johnny, 20, beautiful. You, 20, beautiful.
It's like a little mob boss with a cigar and
With my accent and everything. Yeah.
Oh, that is
you don't
so
like this?
adorable. You don't like?
You don't like this?
You don't like what you see, baby?
I swear, I might have like in my memory, I had like a hairy chest. Like,
Yeah, you put sand on it just to make it look like you had a hairy chest. Ooh, that's so good, dude.
Yeah, so you came in from Iran. You're like, okay, I like this. I like.
I like
Europe.
France. Yes,
Yeah.
very much.
I
And
love
then-
France for the same reasons.
Yeah.
I mean,
wish
putting
we
on
would've stayed there
the
longer.
leopard and the not the other.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
I wish we would have stayed in France longer, but like the U.S. was always the goal, and so we had to eventually move to Houston. So.
Right. Houston's not really like that.
Not as much.
Houston was not like that, but it was great in its own sense. Look, when you're a kid, everything's great. Like, for the most part. Like, Iran, we were, like, getting bombed on, like, on a daily basis. Like, but you just accept it as part of the life you're born into. Like, I remember my dad was, like, took us out in the backyard. He had me in one arm, my brother in one arm, and we were looking at anti-aircraft, fire. And he's like, look at the fireworks. And you're like, this is beautiful. More, like...
Whoa.
Or like you be in school and the bomb sirens go off, like you gotta go into the basement, like whatever, like you gotta turn off all your lights at night, like, but it was all you were still happy because of the people in your life, you didn't know any better. And that's why when I finally got from Texas to Irvine, is like from 9 and up, I grew up in Irvine. People were like, Irvine's so boring, it's so safe. I was like, why are you acting like this is a bad thing? Like,
It's such a blessing.
yeah, this is what you want.
You had
know?
perspective of like how bad things can actually get. So you didn't have just like too cool for school attitude. You're like, no, this is nice. Like security, like
This
safety.
is nice. Yeah. So,
Whoa.
so yeah, man, I'm we're very grateful for our journeys and because they make us who we are, today.
Yeah. We've talked about so many experiences being one thing and then having a different perspective on them, right?
Yeah.
And that fireworks story is epitomizing of that. Like, he knows what those are.
Yeah.
He knows that that's like a
yeah.
sad reality that is existing right now. And he knows he's got kids in this world. And he's like, my kids are in this world.
It's like that movie A Beautiful Life. Have y'all seen that?
I haven't seen it.
Yeah, it's about like this dad who goes with his son, and it takes place in World War II, and they're Jewish, and they go to one of the concentration camps, and the whole movie is about. It's such a beautiful movie because it's like kind of a comedy, but also very serious at the same time.
Yeah.
But it's like the dad creates a game out of being in the concentration camp.
Yeah, he's almost like Charlie Chaplin, like
Yeah, just like very
is
charismatic.
haunting. Yeah.
Like because as the audience at home, like how serious the subject is, and like the dire predicament they're in, and how sad it is. But the kid feels like he's in a game the whole time. He makes everything
It's
about
an Italian film. Yeah.
Wow. That's a beautiful movie. And yeah, the story with the fireworks is your dad transmuting what is ostensibly a terrible thing,
Yeah.
a sad reality,
No.
and saying, hey, kiddos, check it out. Fireworks. And as a kid, you're like, whoa.
Yeah,
it is a joyful thing in that moment.
Yeah.
He could tell you what they really are and
Yeah,
dumb
like,
you
this is-
out,
this is
traumatize
scary,
you as a kid. Yeah,
Look how
we're in a
bad this
bad
is.
place right now. But he didn't. And
So it made those boobies really pop once you got to France.
Different kind of fireworks. Yeah.
Fireworks in my I thought the anti-aircraft was good, It was a whole other level.
yeah, you were 20.
What's this? 4 for you, lady.
Yeah, as a kid, you were unfiltered, so you were probably really
It was
raised.
all in my mind, though. I don't remember saying anything.
Right.
Out loud.
Oh,
Yeah,
I thought you were telling them.
No, I was
dude.
giving him grades in my head. Some credit.
I thought it was you.
But my mom called me. She's like, "You're just staring at women."
Right, because now I'm seeing the silent you.
yeah, they're there. Yeah,
Just going around giving all the ratings.
yeah.
That is so funny, dude. It's interesting to sit with you as another Persian actor because I never really knew any up until like coming to LA
Yeah.
and then being at an audition and just seeing like maybe 2 other ones, you know,
Yeah.
in the audition waiting room. But even then, like the room had like 15 people in it.
Right.
The only reason there were 2 other ones is because it's a role for like, it's like, they're like any Middle Eastern.
Oh, right.
You know,
Just
like,
brown,
any
right,
we
right.
need Middle
Yeah,
Eastern.
Yeah.
You know, and I'd go into a room and it's a bunch of Middle Eastern actors. I'm looking around. I'm like, wow, they'll just take any. Like it's not actually like we need a Mexican American or we need a Mexican man or an Italian person. Like it's not that. They just want brown.
They just want brown. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
returning to acting and being like, all right, like I'm gonna play roles I love and whatever that ends up being, it'll be. And then it leading me to this and leading us to meet in, what was the city called? Birmingham. Star Fury?
Yeah, it was Birmingham. Yeah.
Birmingham.
Yeah.
That was so fun. And being like, whoa, not only have I met another actor who's Persian,
Yeah.
which I never would meet,
Right.
Right? but we're in the same franchise, the
Same
same
franchise.
universe.
Yeah.
It feels like I'm in a different universe, quite literally. I'm like, oh, weird. Before pandemic, there was like this hole where I never saw anybody around who looked like me and never could talk to anyone about the
Yeah.
experience.
Yeah.
Then post pandemic, all these things happen, and I am experiencing this version of being an actor, and boom, I'm like, oh, there's even
Yeah.
someone who same acting technique, same. You know, my father's from Tehran. You're from
Yeah.
Tehran.
Yeah.
Also spent time in Texas. From Texas. I'm
Yeah.
like, what?
Yeah.
What are the odds
I
of this?
tried to name my kid Eman. Yeah, but my
You
wife wasn't
did
having
not.
it.
Oh,
yeah, it's my
really?
favorite Iranian name. Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah. I think it was beautiful. It was Iran, Daryush, Cyrus.
Dariush and
You
Cyrus.
know Daryush, yeah.
Yeah.
Cyrus, yeah.
Kudosh.
Kudos, yeah.
And Eman.
Yeah, you know what's so funny? So much of my friends that I have today, I have built through the industry, and it's not so much people I've worked with, but people I've auditioned with. And I have so many Iranian friends and so many Middle Eastern friends because we were all in that same room, audition after audition after audition. And very rarely did we work together. That's not where our friendship came from. You know, it came from just constantly being in each other's lives. But the actor's journey is so much different now, post-COVID. All these self-tapes, you know? Like, it feels so much more lonelier. Where you don't see, like you said, you don't see other people that look like you, you know? Like, I don't see other actors anymore, you know? Like, unless I work with them. And it's just, it sucks, you know? But but we are, the Iranian American acting community was such a tight-knit group.
Wow.
You know, and we're still close, but we just don't see each other as much. But
Right.
yeah.
It used to be integral to being an actor. As an Iranian American,
Yeah.
you're gonna be running into these other Iranian American actors, and you're
Yeah.
gonna go, "Hey, let's go
Yeah.
get coffee after this."
Yeah.
Or,
Do you know
"Let's
what
go
tarof means?
get that off? Of course.
Yeah. So tarof
does
is
it mean?
like I don't know how you explain it in English.
I
Like,
can.
Go ahead. Yeah.
So let's say you're invited to dinner, and it's a Persian home, and you're eating. Tarof is like they say tarof nakon, or like don't have tarof, which is to say that you don't want to eat anymore. You finish your first plate,
Yeah.
and they're like, "Eat more." You say, "No, I'm okay," because you're embarrassed to eat more.
It's this game you play.
You
yeah.
don't want to. You don't want to eat too much of the food,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
because you don't want to be a rude guest or anything of that nature.
Right, so it's like,
And
don't
they're
do
saying,
that.
Yeah, don't do it for our sake. Eat if
Don't
you
act
want
like a
more
stranger.
food. Cut off nakon, you know, like
Yeah.
eat as much as you want. That's my understanding.
Yeah,
Gotcha,
it
okay.
is like that. But like you would get into the acting world. You would get friends be like, oh, I don't want this part. I think you should get this part. No, you would be so good at this part.
You're
I
lying.
don't want it.
Interesting.
Everyone's just fucking lying to each
Yeah.
other. Oh, I hope you get it. I hope you get it. No, man.
In the audition room?
No, like, yeah. Like in the audition room, like talking on the phone, you know, like, oh, you'd be so good for this. You should get this part. No, you should get this part. Like, I was like, please, man, let's cut the BS.
This is so.
We all want to do
funny.
this part. There's nothing wrong with that. And
Did
we'll
you
sup-
ever say, "I will get this part"? Thank you very much. I will. Thank you, merci.
right,
merci.
actually would be
Thank
the
you
best
for
for
giving
this
me the
part.
part.
I must have. I mean,
As
I
a
wouldn't say
joke,
I wouldn't say it to their face, but like, I would also say, listen, I said if you get this part, I'll support you. It's gonna be great. I can't wait to see you in it. But I want this role.
Oh, cool.
You know,
Respected. You stood on business.
Yeah. Move, babe.
The first time, I'll never forget the first time I thought in an audition room while sitting next to the guy who ends up booking it. I had worked with him on a short film in Austin, Texas. Right, his name. Oh, I shouldn't even say his name. Beep. We gonna beep that out. I'm sitting next to this guy, and I worked so hard on this audition.
Yeah.
It was for this big director in Austin. It was to play the lead role in his movie. And I was like, oh my God, like here it is. It's my chance. Like I'm gonna get this role, work with this legend, and then my career's gonna take off. And I work on it with my acting coach, whatever. And I feel really good about it. I feel like, yeah, I got this down.
Yeah.
I know this character, right? And then I walk in the audition room and I go in there and I see this actor I had just worked on a short film with. And I'm like, oh, what's up, man? How you doing? Hey, what's up, dude? Da-da-da. We dap it up. And he's in there to audition for the same role. And I had two other buddies, actors, who were there to audition, but they were auditioning for different roles. One was auditioning for this supporting lead, and this other one, another supporting lead, but a little smaller. So I was the only one in my immediate friends group going for this role.
Right.
And then this guy, who I just met, just worked with, just got along with, great, and got to know.
Yeah.
And then I'm sitting next to him. We caught up a little bit. I'm like, what are you coming in for? He's like, yeah. I'm like, yeah, me too. He's like, all right, good luck. I'm like, good luck, man. And then we're sitting there in silence, and we're both looking over the lines next to each other. And I'm reading these lines, and all I can hear is this guy's voice in my head now. As I'm reading these lines.
Yeah, like you're reading the lines in his voice.
In his voice.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I'm seeing him do the whole damn thing.
Yeah.
And it's completely different from what I was about to go in the room and do.
Wow.
And it's never happened to me before. And I'm sitting there, and then I'm like, kind of having a moment with myself, like, Eman, focus.
Yeah, eye on the ball.
And then I go back, and I'm like, well, I know the lines. Maybe let me just see what it looks like with him.
Yeah.
For fun, actually. Fuck it, this is interesting. So then I just start reading the whole scene with him as the actor.
Yeah.
And I'm like, now I'm just like watching the scene. And I'm like, wow. Ego dropped, everything just gone. It was just like, oh yeah, if I was casting, I'd cast this guy. He's perfect for this role. Holy shit. Director Eman came in. You know what I mean?
Right,
Like,
right.
This guy's the guy.
Yeah.
He goes in the room, and I'm sitting there going, wow, I can't believe it. What do I do now? You know what I mean?
Like
I'm
almost he's been offered the part already, yeah.
I'm like, what do I do now? Do I go in there and change what I'm going to do to be more like what I see him doing? Or do I just do what I prepared and fuck it, because that's what I prepared?
Yeah.
It's not what I'm seeing him do, and I think he's perfect for the role. So I said, I'll commit to it. You know, now it's just an acting exercise. And
Like commit to which direction? Doing it your way or
my way,
Okay,
what I prepared.
Yeah, gotcha.
Which, wasn't what I, now seeing him, thinking about him, wasn't right, you know?
Second, yeah.
And then he walks out, I go, how'd it go? And he goes, yeah, he gave me more lines. He wants me to come in again after the next audition. I go, oh, dude, that's a good thing. That's great, you know? And then they're like, Eman? I'm like, I'm the next audition. Like, holy sugar, dude. Yeah. So I go in there, I do the whole scene the way I've prepared it. And at the end, he goes, okay, that was good. Can I give you the sides for a different character? And right away in my head, I'm like, it's over. You know, like, no role.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Fuck it, not getting that role. But also kind of like detached anyway, because I was like, yeah, honestly, I'm bummed I'm not going to be in this movie maybe, but I do think that guy's better for it anyway. And I prefer,
Right.
the right person get it, because
Right.
I want to feel that way when I get something.
Right.
Gives me a different character. This character is like bar for bar what I prepared.
Yeah.
No way.
Bar for bar. And it's like a
Whoa.
supporting lead character. Big monologues. He gets to have the most fun and be real braggadocious and confident. Like, who wants to play me next? Like,
That's a
has
fun
this
character.
great moments. And I'm cold reading it, but I get the character so fast. Like, because I prepared basically for this character that I just skip the last paragraph and just start freestyling kind of the gist of it.
Yeah.
And just improvising a bunch of different lines. Ba, 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 ba. And then the director kind of like smiles wide, kind of laughing. He's like, that was awesome. And then the casting director, who I always wished that could see my work.
Yeah.
But the first time I went in for her, I flopped like you could not imagine. So
Yeah.
embarrassing. She never saw me again until a commercial that needed a French-speaking actor. That's why she brought me in.
Yeah.
Finally, I felt like, finally I put in an audition for her that I'm proud of. And she was like behind the director was like, You know,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
she'll know
Yeah,
what
yeah.
he's been looking for all day. Must have nailed it on the head.
Right.
And sure enough, we get cast in exactly those roles. He gets that role.
Oh, no way.
And I get that role.
Wow.
And they were perfect for us. Like I wouldn't. And looking back at it, I'm like, actually, I preferred my role.
Right.
The one I ended up getting.
More natural, like authentic.
Yeah.
to who
So
you
it was
are.
the only time, like the first time I ever experienced being like, oh, this person should get this role that I'm auditioning for. You know.
Yeah.
Genuinely, not
Genuinely,
not
yeah.
tat offing and
Yeah.
all
yeah.
that. You know.
I mean, dude, I have I'm 45 years old now, so I have like just so many life experiences and story. Like you just I mean, I don't know. I'm happy to talk or not talk, but like the whole auditioning, like I guess time's up, huh?
Imagine that was David just like.
Yeah.
just
Okay, we
getting-
get it.
No, but
We get
auditioning
it.
is fantastic.
Yeah, auditioning is it's such an interesting thing because like I don't know if you know this, but like, well, maybe you don't because we're still getting to know each other. But like I used to work in casting
Oh yeah.
before I was an actor, and I worked for a really like I worked for someone named Mally Finn, and she was like the 800-pound gorilla in Hollywood in terms of casting. She did The Matrix, LA Confidential, Titanic, Terminator. And so I was working for her just not far from here actually. And I worked on and off in her office for 2 years, and I learned more in 3 months in her office than I did in entire 4 years in drama school.
Wow.
About the art of not just acting, but of auditioning specifically, because they're not quite the same thing.
Yeah.
And to see, like, I remember I probably saw 1,000 auditions by the time I got an agent and went on my first 4 auditions, before I even had a headshot, really, like, I booked them, and the 4th was like a series regular on a show. I don't know, like, you listen to your audition story, it just reminded me of all these audition stories I had in my mind. And like, I'll just tell like one of them. Like, I had done one episode of the show called Jag. I don't know if you know what that is. You know what NCIS is?
Yeah.
So it was NCIS. It was NCIS before it was NCIS. It was like the precursor to
loved
NCIS.
NCIS.
Yeah. Do you really?
Yeah.
Okay.
This procedural like detective
you
stuff.
know,
Just
yeah.
like, I don't know, it was like comfort show.
No, it is
on
for a
true
lot of
crime.
people,
Law and
man.
Order.
Yeah.
I like when bad guys get brought to justice.
Yeah, like this guy here.
No.
Not you. You would never.
Oh, I had the most epic death scene on NCIS.
Oh.
I'm
Yeah.
glad they remembered to kill you.
Oh, they did remember me, yeah. Anyway, so I had just done one episode of Jag. I was just starting out. I had $3,000 in my bank account from that Jag show. And me and my buddies like planned this like Lake Tahoe ski trip, and I've never been skiing before. And so we drove up to Lake Tahoe, and as soon as I get there, like my agent calls me. He's like, "Hey, you have got you an audition tomorrow for 24 at 9 in the morning." I'm like, I just got to Lake Tahoe. We're gonna ski.
Man.
He's like, "Omid, do you want to be an actor or don't you?"
Wow.
I was like, "Yes, I do." He's like, "You need to get your ass back to LA by 9 a.m. or whatever." And it was an early audition because they were replacing somebody named Eman, actually.
You're lying.
No, I'm not lying. It was just these two brothers, Eman and Amin, who are still to this day some of my best friends.
And what time is it in Tahoe when you get this news?
It was night. It was late at night.
Okay.
Oh my
And this is before cell phones. Like, this was like. I was
snap,
like.
man.
I was
How'd
like.
you get the call? At a random toll
no,
booth?
I did have a cell phone.
Okay.
I didn't. It was before the internet on the cell phone.
Right. So it's just a regular.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Razor.
So it wasn't like email me my thing, and I was like, I called my sister. I didn't have a printer. I was like, "Can you read me my lines?" And I wrote them down. Wow. And then I found a 4 a.m. flight out of Tahoe to back to LA. I did not sleep. I spent the night memorizing these lines or trying to memorize these lines, and I got back, went to my apartment, showered, drove to the audition. You know, Rami Malek was there. It was like you know, like all these people just starting off for their careers, you know, and the role was for this 19-year-old disgruntled Middle Eastern kid, and I go in, and I'm so tired, I'm so nervous, I don't know my lines really. I just vomit, like not really vomit. I just can't get my lines out. I keep stuttering over these lines. And they're like, "Okay, well, thank you so much, Omid, for coming in."
Oh.
It's like that's a big fuck you to you as an actor.
I've gotten
you know?
it. Yeah. I've gotten it.
Yeah.
And I was like, what? I just came back from Lake Tahoe. I just left my friends like for a thank you, Omid, for coming in. I was like, they want to see a 19-year-old disgruntled kid. I'm going to show them a 19-year-old disgruntled kid. I was like, okay. And I took their sides and I crumpled it up in front of them. And I walked out and I threw it in the trash can in the room and I walked out. And I went to go put my jacket on. I was like, God, I hope that worked. God, I hope that worked. And then the door opens like within like 30 seconds. They're like, actually, Omid, you know what? Can you come back in? The director wants to work with you. So basically, I was able to show them, just because I've seen auditions.
Yeah.
People just need to see a glimpse of that character to believe in you. If you don't hit it on the
You
head,
still were performing on your
I was
way
still
out.
performing. Yeah, yeah.
And you
that
knew
story.
you didn't get the performance, but you were like, this is also
I need
what
to show
the
them that
character's essence
there's this
is.
character. Yeah, yeah.
You were how old at the time?
I was 22, 23.
Oh, wow. Omid, that's crazy.
Yeah, and so they called me in, and by then my nerves had eased, and I did the role, and I got the part. So yeah, it's just 20 years of doing this, you got stories like this. You know?
That's an epic story.
Yeah.
Is that one of the secret sauces you learned in your like diving into the art of auditions? Even if you don't should get a glimpse of the character in your actual performance, just like figure out a way to get
I
it.
wouldn't say that's the secret sauce. The secret sauces I learned were like the things that make a successful date will make a successful audition. So if you
interesting.
come in and you're insecure and you're overcompensating for your lack of confidence in your work and you're blabbing, you're talking too much because you're nervous, because you don't think your work is good enough, or I'm sorry I got these lines just yesterday. I know you got those lines yesterday. I gave you those lines yesterday. We know that. We understand the actor's process. So if you come in with confidence, it takes you so far in an audition room. What makes you an attractive as a human being on a date will make you attractive as a human being in an audition room. But unfortunately, there's no audition rooms anymore. So.
It's funny. It's funny because I'm thinking about my methodology for auditioning,
Yeah.
and then using it with your analogy of what makes me attractive on a date will make me attractive in an audition room. My audition process is, I am there as the solution to their problem.
I mean, talk about confidence. Does that you on a date?
No, that's what I'm saying.
I am
That's
the
my
answer to
audition
it.
process.
Yeah.
So imagine if that was what I was thinking for a date. I'm a solution to this girl's problem.
This girl has an Eman-shaped hole in her heart.
And I can fill it. But I get what you're saying.
Yeah, man.
Auditioning's fascinating. I have a similar start. I was at a casting director's workshop, and that's how I fell into acting accidentally. But then those same casting directors, Kim and Brad Burton, who were so awesome and so kind, they asked if I would work the front desk.
Right.
And they were like, but we'll have you come in sometimes when there's not a lot of people, and you could watch some auditions, and we'll talk you through them.
That's priceless.
I was
man.
like, wow,
Yeah.
awesome. So I remember Kim and Brad Burton. I would be in the room with them, and then they would have someone come in and do a commercial audition. They'd give them notes, and then they'd leave, and they'd be like, all right, you see what we did there, blah, 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 and like, give me all these tricks of the trade. And you pick up on things like the actors who come in,
You
and
do.
they're there, and they have a choice. They made their confident choice, and like, I'm going to
Yeah.
go for this. And sometimes it's so wrong.
Yeah.
But the casting director's like, okay,
Yeah.
we know you can make a distinct choice, and it shows. Like,
Yeah.
you can act.
Yeah.
You're all the way off the mark, so we're going to give you what it is. This is what it is. And the
Yeah.
actor will go, okay, oh, got it.
Right.
And then they'll right away, boom.
Make the adjustment.
Because they have that.
Yeah,
They're confident
yeah.
to make a choice.
Yeah. And if not that, then they'll try you for another role in another.
Yeah, and they might have loved your
Yeah.
other thing. And
Yeah.
it's, so it's just about standing on business, really.
It
Like,
is,
you
yeah.
can't pussyfoot
Yeah.
an audition.
Yeah. No. Yeah. The goal of an audition is never to book the audition, even though that sounds obvious, but like it's to make fans in the room.
Yeah.
Because that will get you work upon work,
The audition I did for Ahsoka
Yeah.
was with Seraphin Casting, and I'll never forget because it was one of the first auditions I got when I moved to LA to be an actor.
Yeah.
It was an audition for a TV show. They needed a Middle Eastern character to play like the bullied kid who gets like thrown in a trash can and like whatever, right? Who ends up having this the second scene of this audition was a monologue where like the bullied kid you find out is a mastermind and he's trapped this bully and he's got all these crazy things going on.
Yeah.
He's got all these crazy things going on. So he kind of has like a snap and he goes like full Joker mode almost in the second scene.
Yeah.
In the first scene, he's just being bullied.
Right.
Right. And I don't know. Like when you see who they actually cast for that, you'd be like, why would they ever read him on for that? You know what I mean?
Right. Okay.
And I felt the same way reading it. I was like, I know who the lead of the show is. I'm looking at him. Oh, Molly snuck through.
She got over it.
So
We tried to block
full
Molly
of
out of
herself
it.
too. She just. Aww.
Well,
And I feel bad now.
Yeah.
I thought
kinda-
because she was walking with like a. Like I picked it. I got through.
Yeah,
They thought they could stop me. Yeah,
we can all relate to
my
having to go to the
bad.
bathroom and just like doing
But when
what
you
it
gotta
takes
pee, you
to-
gotta pee, man.
to make it happen. Yeah.
Love you.
I don't know how to get out.
What a good girl. It was so important.
girl.
to
Look
get
how
right
excited
now.
Oh, it's so much lighter on the feet.
Yeah, that's a little tail
Yeah.
waggle.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's this kid who gets bullied and picked on and whatever. There's an energy to that character that I was like, I don't know why I'm coming in for this, but I'll come in for it. So I come and I try, in the first scene to be kind of like, I don't know, it just wasn't there for me.
Yeah.
But in the second scene, it's a monologue.
Yeah.
And the monologue goes from like one energy of being like the bullied kid who's like, why are you always treating me like this, blah, 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 and then flips into like this psychopath. And I was like, oh, I love this. I love these kinds of characters. I
Yeah.
love the
challenge,
twist,
yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I just feel better at those than I do at just like a regular straight
Me
no
too,
character.
Yeah.
And I remember thinking, I did the first scene and they were like, okay, thank you. Looking at each other, kind of like, should we just cut it now? And I'm like, second scene? They're like, yeah, let's do the second scene. But they were probably
they
about
were
to
ready to
just
pass
get
on you.
rid of
Yeah,
me.
yeah.
And these are like the casting associates.
Yeah.
And maybe it wasn't that, but either way, like I was like, maybe it was my insecurity of being like, please let me get a second scene read,
Right.
So then we do the second scene and I just let loose. I remember just going absolutely bananas in that monologue. And the casting associate was like shook. She was like,
Yeah.
and I remember feeling like, okay, whether she's acting right now or not, like we are in this. Like there was a total shift in the energy of the room. I definitely like hit that mark.
Yeah.
Not for this character, but just to show chops.
Yeah.
And then they called my manager and were like, my manager called to check, like, how'd it go, blah, blah. And they were like, he's fantastic. There's no way we'll ever cast him in this role. But that's because he just doesn't play that way on a screen, blah, blah, blah. But he is a phenomenal actor. We really want to book him on something else. We want to like break him.
You won, man.
And
That's it.
that was a
Yeah.
win. And they tried to put me on something else the next week and got close. And then auditions are sparse for people who look like us. And so, it never really totally came all the way around. And then the Star Wars audition was in that office. And it was like 2 years later, 3 years later. And now they're like, oh yeah, Eman.
Yeah.
We remember him. We tried to like get him going at the beginning. It's been a while since we've seen him and boom.
Yeah.
They really did get me going. You know what I mean? They
You were planting
influenced.
those seeds back then, man.
It was fascinating how it comes back around and you win the room.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You win the room sometimes. Feels good.
Just keep winning the room.
Journey. I was also taking an acting class, and
Yeah, it was really good too. I took an acting class when I first got to LA, and what was it like? I really liked it. I did it with a mutual friend of ours, just coincidentally. Maya? Yeah, she was doing it.
forgot
was
about that.
this friend that we had, so that was fun. And I always wanted to take an acting class with you, just for like.
dude, that would be so
It would
much
be
fun,
so fun,
dude.
It would be such.
That would be
It's like the
so-
perfect.
Well, because we would be laughing so hard, bro.
I really love the improvisation moments of it. Like that's what really was the funnest for me, and that was like one of the first lessons I learned in acting is sometimes it's not about how bad you want it. Sometimes you have to know how to put a lid on a performance. You know, because I just thought, like, I'm going to go in. I had a breakup scene.
Yeah.
You know, so I was going to get a little emotional. And, you know, I felt like my character may have been a little upset. And so I really wanted to blow the roof off that place.
Right.
Dude, I wanted to break dishes and like, set off the smoke alarm, you know? Like, I don't even know. So yeah, I did that one class, and when I was leaving, the guy was like, I'm just gonna like take, because I was like really good. I had a lot going on at that time, and I remember feeling like really stressed out, and I was like, I need like one less thing in my life. And the guy was like, people say this all the time to me, that they're gonna be back, like, you know, like the next semester, and they never do. I was like, dude, it's totally not gonna be me, so you don't even have to worry about it. And that was 2 years ago.
See you never.
Too busy, dude. I'm doing a podcast now.
I'm a podcaster, man.
I still can't go back.
I'm on right now. I'm still busy, dude.
I ain't never going back. No, one day I will go back.
I know you will.
When
And
the time
it's
is right.
Also interesting because I, and maybe you've felt this as well, Omid, with friends. I had a moment click for me as an actor. After I quit acting, I'm in pandemic. I'm like, it's during the pandemic. And I'm staying at a friend's place. And she had just recently become an actress. So like that year. So she like, when she first started, she went to the same class I went to. She would call me and be like, can you look at my self-tape? And like, let me know what you think. I'll redo it if you have notes. So it was very like involved in her beginning of acting.
Yeah.
But she was like a natural, like very talented off the bat. And I remember even being like, a part of me was even like, damn, I work so hard and like, I can't do what she's doing. She's really fucking natural at this.
Effortless, yeah.
Yeah, but I had already quit, so I was
Right.
like, well, oh well. I quit that anyway, you know? Like, good thing I had quit, you know, because I wasn't mature enough at the time to be able to seeing that with Grace and be like, that's amazing. I would have been like, what the fuck? How did she do that?
Right.
You know? But
Right.
at that point, I was like, this is fucking fascinating to watch. I'm hanging out with her, staying at her place for a little while. And we would always fall into these bits, these characters, these scenes, we would just play.
Yeah.
These accents, and all over the apartment, all the time, all in walks, everything. And one day we're doing it for like an hour, and then we're just bursting out laughing at the end. And she's like, I love acting. And I'm like, laughing, and I stop laughing. I'm like, what are you talking about? He's like, I love acting. I go, what the heck? Where does that come from? Why did you just say that randomly? He goes, randomly?
I love ice cream. What do we do?
Yeah, I was like, what? She was like, randomly, we've been acting for an hour.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, wow. I totally disconnected from the idea that this is acting, which is how it started for me. It was just make believe. You just play pretend. And it just
Right.
shows up. Like you're just following the flow of the bit.
Yeah.
And acting became this craft forward, technique driven, technical skill.
Yeah.
Right. And it killed me to do
Yeah.
it that way. And
Yeah.
it bored me. And it made me a worse actor. I wasn't a good actor
Absolutely.
like that, actually.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was locked up. And that clicked. I remember thinking, oh, whoa, that's what acting is. And thinking, oh, I like that. That's kind of cool. Like if that's what acting is, maybe I would do that
Right.
again. Right?
Right.
And then later on, now having this new understanding again of what acting actually is at its essence for me.
Yeah.
Hanging out with you when you moved to LA finally, and we're like running bits, blah, blah, blah. And I'm just realizing, I'm thinking, man, this guy has no idea he's an actor also.
Right.
Like it's in his bones to be an actor as well. And so it was cool to hear you getting into an acting class. And we have like a plan to make a movie, like a stoner comedy.
Oh, yeah?
A
So
la
excited
like
for that.
Pineapple
Like Half
Express.
Baked or what? What was that? What's it called? Half Baked? No.
Yeah, I think
Half
there's
Baked
a
is
movie
one, but
called
that's the
Half
Dave
Baked.
Chappelle one.
Or like, what was it? Yeah.
Yeah,
Friday,
also-
Half Baked.
Harold and Kumar.
Harold and
Harold and
Kumar.
Kumar is a
Yeah,
classic
yeah.
one.
Like just like a good, like Pineapple Express, like just
Yeah.
a nice stoner,
You
fun,
want a
funny.
journey, go to In-N-Out.
Yeah.
They're sitting in that line for an hour.
That's the whole movie.
There's a bunch of stuff that happens.
The whole duration, that'd be so funny. The whole duration of the movie could just be the line in and
Shit's
out.
going crazy. Anyway, and I'm excited because I know that since we're gonna write it, the scenes that you're gonna act out will be scenes that you act out naturally.
Yeah,
you
like
could-
when you told me that, and like going back to, what's the name of your friend again who you were staying at when you were doing bits, and she was like, that's acting?
Sydney.
Oh, yeah, got you.
Sydney.
going back to that, like when you told me that you're like, that's acting, yeah, I never thought about it that way either, but also
Yeah.
like it makes sense because like I get like what I'm leaning into.
Yeah.
But to me in my brain, like I'm just making something funnier. Like that's how I think
Sure,
about
yeah.
it. I don't think like I'm like, but I guess like it makes sense through that lens because sometimes like making something like extra funny is like adding in like that little like detail of like zest of like how somebody like the character would actually say it to make it really like pop and hit as hard as possible.
Right.
So I didn't realize by like striving for that, like building that intuition in my head, that was like an acting muscle.
Yeah, it's an acting muscle. It's like an actor's instinct.
Yeah.
To do something a certain way for its punchline effect. Like, oh, this adds emphasis to
Yeah.
this line in this moment.
Yeah. it's
Yours
like-
are comedically driven, but
Right.
comedic acting exists. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's definitely, or it's really, if it's organized that way, it's like easy for me to picture what I'm supposed to do. If I'm supposed to be breaking up with somebody, dude, I don't know. Dude,
How did that go?
I killed it. I sent it. It was La La Land, dude.
He did the
I want to play the piano. Why don't you understand? I'm trying to trying to be a star. You don't care.
That's
it
funny.
went really good.
I have faith in your future, and Omid, I have so much faith as well in your future. I look forward to seeing American Gods, and
Thank you, man. Thank you.
it's
And you,
not Splinter Cell. I keep
Sleeper
thinking
Cell.
Sleeper Cell.
Splinter Cell
like a
was a
video
video
game.
game.
Yeah.
You're not the only one that mixes
And-
those two. Yeah.
And to see all the TV shows and movies that you'll
Thanks,
continue to be in, man.
Can I
It's
just put it out there? I hope that one day maybe our paths will cross
I know.
on screen.
Dude, I hope so too. I hope you guys do a scene
Yeah.
together one day in some project.
Yeah.
Dude, that would be really fun.
Yeah,
Really
man.
such an
I'm
honor
also
to have
putting
you
that out
on.
there.
Such a stimulating
Thank you.
conversation.
Yeah, of course. Thank you for
Amazing,
having me
man.
on. This has been fun. I needed it. My soul needed this. So
Love to hear it.
thank you. Yeah.
As did ours, man.
Yeah.
As did ours. Keepers of the Fire, thank you for listening to our time with Omid Abtahi. We are your hosts, Eman Esfandi,
Journey Bailey.
and we are signing off.
Signing off. Love you guys.
Love you guys.
Peace.
Awesome. All right. Thank you guys.
I was ready to say